WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm okay. I'd like to personally thank you for changing my life.
Okay.
Okay. Now, instead of having wonderful weekends, just hanging out with my dog.
Oh, yeah.
Where the hell did he go?
He left you too.
What the bug? What the flying fuck? Anyway, now I hardly get any sleep. I'm going to have dementia long before it's due.
Good.
Good. Good. Glad to have that. We'll just do a podcast. In the next 10 years, we'll do a podcast called The Blubbering Fat Idiot. And then you'll say, hey, it's Tony's voice, your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, how are you? I said, well, you know, I just remember back when I used to hold the microphone for Ric Flair, and then I used to hold it for JJ Dillon, and I'm fine. Hey, you there, Fred?
So it'll be the Jim Ross podcast. Just kidding. So, hey, listen, we're doing Great American Bash 1987 today. And Tony, we always do stuff on Peacock.
Yeah.
But today we're doing a Turner Home Entertainment VHS release.
Wow.
Because it's not posted on Peacock. So the only way you're going to be able to watch this with us is to watch on YouTube. Sorry about that. But if you'll join us on our WHW Monday YouTube, then you'll be able to watch along with us as Tony and I try to entertain you here for the next couple hours. I'm looking forward to this, Tony, and you told me some information before we got going. I want you to keep that in your back pocket. We'll do a countdown and we'll reveal all that and talk about all that's going on. And then, of course, I don't know if you saw, but there was some news about WWE this week that we might want to touch on, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. I can just give my opinion on it, but yeah, because I don't obviously have any inside information about it. But
well, I don't really either. And even if I did, I wouldn't share it here. But
yeah, that's good. I just want my friends to be able to have work and enjoy themselves.
I think all of our friends are just fine.
Good. That's what's important to me. Isn't that something? In this day and age, and that's a cliche, I know, where fans take fucking sides.
A little silly.
Like it's the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
They're worried about the wrong thing. They're talking about the wrong thing. It's about people. It's about human beings who put their life in other people's hands and put their lives in and dedicate their whole careers to making a better product. And that's what it's about. It's about the people. And I know there's good people in the WWE, great people in the WWE, and I just want them to prosper. And they will.
Yes.
Listen, Vince McMahon was not going to run this company forever.
He couldn't.
No, he's pushing 80 now, right? He's 77?
77 next month, I think.
Right. So it happens, man. There's going to be a time where probably really soon that I'm not going to be able to broadcast anymore. So it happens. Age comes in and you have to move on. So I think they knew that day was going to come. They just didn't know when. But there you go. I just hope that my friends who work there do well, and I understand they are, and that's good. That's all I got to say about that.
And we're hoping that we do well next weekend. We're home stretching for Ric Flair's last match. Tony Schiavone will be on the call with David Crockett. It's going to be one last run for the Horsemen on Saturday, and Jim Crockett Promotions on Sunday. I can't believe this is real, but we're getting the band back together. RicFlairsLastMatch.com has all the information if you'd like to join us. Tickets are still on sale from Municipal Auditorium. And you can join us anywhere in the world on pay-per-view, on Dish, on satellite, and of course on fight.tv. It's all available, all the information, RicFlairsLastMatch.com. But Tony, without further ado, I'm ready to get going here. I've got it pulled up on my side. I know you've got it pulled up on your side. since we're not really doing a traditional watch along, I think we can probably skip the fancy countdown unless you feel strongly.
No, I don't feel strongly about it. We can do our own countdown here. You ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
See Barry Windham, Tully Blanchard. Look at that barbed wire, Dark Journey, JJ Dillon, and there it is. The match beyond the giant double steel cage.
First time ever.
I was supposed to say this is the very first WarGames, right?
Yeah, this is really kind of, well, not kind of, it really is historic if you think about it.
No doubt.
Because it's been a match that is, I mean, we had we call it blood and guts.
It's WarGames. Oh, look at Rick there. I didn't realize he wore that same robe. That's the robe he'll be wearing this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Rock and Roll Express, they're going to be there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not so sure. This is footage from like maybe a Starrcast or a Starrcade. So I'm not so sure Rick's going to wear that robe to the ring.
No, I'm saying he will on Sunday.
Oh, he will on Sunday, right?
Get a look at him. Oh man, look at there. Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane rocking those US. Oh, there's Michael Hayes. Look at him.
Oh God.
Buddy Roberts out there. Here comes Flexi Lexi looking as only he can look, as Richard might say. You know, a friend of mine owns that robe right there. I didn't know there were Lex Luger robes that were collectible, but my old pal Brian, he found it like, I don't know, 8 years ago. They wound up on a TV. Oh, look at this devil.
It's going to be remembered for a lot of things. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Schiavone. The Great American Bash during the summer of 1987, remembered for making professional wrestling history. 2 rings, completely enclosed in a cage, and on the top, the site of the biggest battleground in the history of wrestling. We're talking about the WarGames, the match beyond. 10 men will enter, 5 men will leave the victors.
God, look at that
Welcome
hair.
to the Great American Bash 1987, and you're going to take a look at the best of the Great American Bash, including the WarGames.
So this video release looks like a combination maybe of multiple Great American Bash events. How about that lighting package? David Crockett was pretty proud of that, was he not? Oh, here it is. WarGames 1. We're getting right off to the hot start here, baby. The bomb.
I don't even know who did that voice. I don't think that was Tom Miller. There's the robe.
There's the robe indeed. And it's always fun to go back and watch how these guys came to the ring here. There's no traditional entrance ramp or entrance way. They're just coming through the crowd with security. I had some people hit me up to say, this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
At Ric Flair's last match. I don't think we're going to do it that way, Tony.
No, those things represent, no, you've got for Ric Flair's last match, you can't have him walk to the ring just like that.
No,
you cannot.
It is pretty cool though. I didn't realize that he wore this robe in there, but that was a pretty damn iconic robe in hindsight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Our old pal Dick Bourne, who just went into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame out there, Dan Gable's out in Waterloo, Iowa.
Oh, they induct him into the Hall of Fame, or he just visited?
No, he went in. He got an acceptance speech and the whole deal.
Oh, that is tremendous, isn't it?
So cool. I brought it up though, because that's his favorite robe by far. And he's told me that, from day one. And here come the Road Warriors and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Nice little crowd shot here. People are fired up.
Got to pick up my dog.
Yeah, let's see the biggity bug. Tony, after this match, we're gonna take a timeout. Just want to give you a heads up to be ready. Oh, look who it is. That's not Larry Bird.
It's Larry Bird. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
he had a lot of beer that night.
Well, he also found it looked like Krispy Kreme. I mean, I could be wrong on that. But.
And he looked like he stuffed a couple of them in under his shirt as well.
A pair of those Road Warrior shoulder pads would be badass. I've ran across a few that were available on the collector side of things, but they were like late, like the airbrushed versions they wore towards the end of their career. But this is the set I would want. This or those red ones with the black spikes they wore in the WWF. But as a wrestling fan, what a cool collectible that is, dude.
Speaking of collectibles, I think Dusty came to the ring with that 6-man belt.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
The War Games consist of 8 periods. The first period is 5 minutes in duration. Each team will be allowed 1 man in the ring at a time during the first period. After the first 5-minute period, the referee will conduct a coin toss to determine who has the advantage. That is to say, who can have 2 men in the ring and who can have 1. He will hold a black flag representing one team having the advantage. He will hold a black flag representing the other team. After all 10 wrestlers are in the ring, it will be time for the match beyond. Submission or surrender. Now let the War Games begin.
I wrote that script for Tom.
Well, I've always wondered, and I'm first of all, I'm glad to know you wrote it. And we're going to start with Arn Anderson and Dusty Rhodes. How about that? But here's my question.
Yeah.
And wrestling fans have been curious about this for a long time. So now that we know that you wrote it, we can ask you and just go straight to the horse's mouth, as that old expression goes.
I should have never said this, but go ahead.
What is the difference between submission and surrender?
Nothing.
So it's like saying stupid idiot?
That's right.
Okay.
I wrote that script for Tom based on what Dusty told me to say. I'm not shifting the blame, but submit or surrender was it. And from day one, it's something that I talked about.
Where you said that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but no, I thought that just does not work. That does not work. It's 87.
What is Dusty doing right now?
He wants to, he's looking like he's going to swing off the top.
If I was a wrestling, okay, now I see he's at least made his way to the corner.
Uh-huh.
But when he just stepped over in the middle, I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do. Oh, he wanted to do monkey bars.
Yeah.
He wanted to monkey bar his ass.
He monkey barred his ass.
I get it now.
Yeah. So anyway, submit or surrender is what Dusty said. Put it this way. If I submit to you.
So maybe one's in a hold and one's just forfeit.
Yeah, right. If I submit to you, then I'm saying I submit, you can do whatever you want. If I surrender, you need to stop.
How about Dusty flipping off the Horseman?
I know. This is
that's a big deal for 1987.
Damn right it is. Damn right it is. But then this thing was just shot for home video.
Right. And I can't believe they don't have this on the network, the very first War Games. I'm glad to be watching it with you, though.
When you sent me the video, I'm thinking, wow, it's not on the network. How about that?
It doesn't make any sense, man.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is the one, and we'll see it. Well, I think we've seen the move before where JJ gets hurt.
Yeah, ends his in-ring career for good.
Yeah.
I actually have his boots over my head up there.
Wow.
Like the ones he wore in this match.
That's really cool.
Man, the very first War Games, I feel a little bad that it feels like a lot of times people talk about Dusty and they talk about his booking. And what they end up talking about is if you really focus on the business of the wrestling business, then you wind up saying, oh, well, he overspent with JCP and some of the country music acts and the Bash Tour. And then maybe if you're just, I don't know, an armchair quarterback, you say, oh, he did the Dusty finish too often and whatever. But dude, you really think about all the innovations that he had, including War Games. And I realize nowadays WarGames is maybe not nearly what it once was. But when this first came out, dude, this was the hottest, biggest, baddest ass thing in wrestling, was it not?
Oh my God.
And he really had to. I mean, I just want to put this in the proper context. This is the Great American Bash Tour. So this is the summer of 1987. What happened towards the end of March in 1987? Do you recall?
In wrestling or just
In wrestling?
It was WrestleMania 3.
Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant changed the way the mainstream looked at wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, rock and wrestling had been around, but it was sort of this thing that was on MTV and occasionally on late night TV. But, it wasn't the touring attraction that it became for the WWF until after that. But the visual of that arena and them being able to say that more people came to see that than anything else really helped them blow up their touring business. And they just enjoyed incredible success, because now it wasn't just like, I don't know, Vince took every opportunity to market the hell out of that. And let's remember too, this is in the infancy of pay-per-view. Back then, if you wanted to see something like this, you had to either be in the arena or you had to go down to another arena and watch it on a big screen for closed circuit.
Right.
So they just had a ton of momentum. So Dusty has to feel the pressure. And, he wants Jim Crockett Promotions, who he believes has the best quote unquote work. And I think if you took a look at even the way the wrestling landscape looks right now, I think a lot of people would still compare the way they did WWF and Jim Crockett Promotions. I think these days it would be WWE and AEW, because a lot of the quote unquote smart fans, they believe the best wrestling matches exist with, so there you go, Tommy Young. What do you know? Those damn heels, they have,
they get the advantage.
And in comes Tully. So now it's 2-on-1. Anyway, I just think there's some similarities there where, hey man, some of the best wrestlers in the world, where the best matches are, that happens in AEW. But if you're looking for story and gaga and the mainstream, okay, WWE probably still has the advantage. It's that old cliche, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
And I love that no matter what, you're always on that side that has the better shit. Kudos to you.
Well, I don't think that the side I've been on throughout history has always had the better stuff. I mean,
oh no, that's for sure. When you get toward the end of WCW, that was not the case.
No, it was not. It was not. Hey, by the way, because we got the Horsemen in, the Horsemen meet and greet coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
it's not Horsemen meet and greet. It's the last ride one last ride for the 4 Horsemen.
So what we've got is your opportunity as a wrestling fan to get your photo made on the old TBS set with all the Horsemen, which is just badass.
Right.
You can also do that with David and Tony.
Right.
Then on Saturday, one last ride for the Horsemen. We'll have Arn Anderson. We'll have Tully Blanchard. We'll have Barry Windham. We'll have JJ Dillon. We'll have Richard. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. And you're going to be the host. I don't think these guys have been on the stage together before. And honestly, I don't think it'll happen again. So it should be pretty damn special. And here comes Road Warrior Animal. And right now, I would not want to be Tully Blanchard.
No. They lawn darted his ass. But it's Dusty's already juiced. They
Tully's
Tully's,
about
Tully, look at Tully
doing it in midair.
Yeah, he's reaching for his shit in midair. But that is going to be great being with the Horsemen there.
What a moment in your career too. Just, you think back about when you first got into this thing, it was because of Richard and some of these same guys. And then you had so many fun moments on that old set with these guys.
Yeah.
And then got to know them outside of the ring and have a few beers with them and some jalapeno burgers from Whataburger. And now, all these years later, once you're back in wrestling, and most of these guys are no longer actively in wrestling, you're getting back together with them one last time on that old set. This is like chicken soup for a wrestling fan, is it not?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're going to do that at 2:15, and that is local time in Nashville on Saturday. And that's just kind of part of it. I know you got your guys, or our friends, Matt Cardona, and a guy who I've really learned to really respect and like, Mark Sterling, is on that podcast.
Great guy. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing their major figure pod, and
Right.
we got the Bret Hart panel. We're gonna be talking about SummerSlam '92 and the 30th anniversary with Kenny McIntosh, and so really, really fun stuff, including a visit with the new Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah,
With Chris Van Vliet.
that's good, man. That's all good stuff. That's this weekend is kind of like a for a wrestling fan, like a dream weekend. It really is. If you think about going back in time and the recent stuff and the not so far back in time stuff, like Mick Foley's doing his podcast live on Sunday. You know, we're talking about
Kevin Nash too. And Kevin Nash, I don't know if you saw his new show debuted at #1. I mean, you can check it out on YouTube. It's phenomenal. It looks and feels different from everything else in wrestling. And Paige's first appearance. Hey, Bryan Danielson, who's cleared to wrestle tonight on Dynamite, by the way. Check that out. I think he's taking on Daniel Garcia.
That's right.
He'll be live in person at Starrcast with Renee Paquette, putting the band back together, back from when he wasn't able to be in the ring, but still was hanging around WWE. So something for everybody. Starrcast.com or RicFlairsLastMatch.com. But dude, the anticipation for Sunday, I'm sure you've seen or at least heard about episode 2 of our docu-series for Ric Flair's Last Match. We'll play the audio for that and the video at the end of this episode. So if you haven't seen it, just stay tuned. We'll make sure it's tacked on to the end. But dude, everybody was talking about it last Monday and Tuesday, were they not?
Oh man. Everybody was talking about it where I work too.
What was the consensus?
How about that? How about that, Schiavone? I said, man, yeah. I said, old man, I'm not going to give away what happens, but
well, by now everybody knows that Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal beat the fuck out of Ric Flair in a parking lot.
yeah, I wish I would have been there to be able to just put one boot in.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, just for old time's sake.
Well, you might have your chance on Sunday night. You know, I'm not on the best of terms with Jeff Jarrett right now, but I know that
Really?
he showed up on SmackDown this past Friday night. He had them guns out, and I'm like, man, none of that's going to help you Sunday night. Andrade is going to fuck you up, dude.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that much about him, and I know he's kind of in your family now.
Yeah,
in a way, but I really like working with Andrade.
he is a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy and so talented, man. Really like working with him. Gives us great matches. Good pickup for AEW.
I think he and I probably hung out like 8 times before we finally like clicked, because obviously there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
I hadn't been working on my Spanish. He's been working on his English, but eventually now we can just sort of look at each other and know what each other's thinking and just grin at certain things that happen in and around our family.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy working with him. So it's good. I'm glad he's at the show. I know he's been banged up, and you know, we say that all the time. I mean, we talked about Bryan Danielson being banged up, and in this day and age, wrestlers get banged up a lot.
Well, they always did, but back
More
then,
now than
they rubbed some dirt on it and kept going, and you didn't
Right.
hear about it because there was no social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't mean to give a spoiler here, but a lot of the talk of Andrade was hurt and blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
because he had a swollen ankle. I mean, you know, and I'm not saying that that's not something that is going to slow somebody down or whatever, but it's not like this is a guy who's, oh man, I hope he can compete. He'll be fine.
Right. And I know that. And I'm not saying about Andrade is because of things change and we have a medical staff now.
Right.
The medical staff has to, when a guy gets injured, has to give the approval that he can wrestle.
Right.
And Tony has to go with that.
Yeah.
And so that's when you see a guy back, it's not because the guy, hey man, he rubs some dirt on, he wants to come back.
Medical
It's
let him.
Medical let him. And they used to rub dirt on it, Conrad, back in the day that we're watching right now because they had to.
You don't work, you don't get paid.
That's right. That's right. And so things have changed really for the better in the business, I think.
Well, yeah, I think by and large wrestling has gotten a lot better, and I think it's going to continue to evolve. But I think that's in a large part that's just society, man. Like we're getting better, as people and more accepting, and all of that stuff.
Right.
And you just think about what was taboo a few years ago and what's just considered the norm. I mean, what was controversial even 10 years ago?
Right.
It's hard to imagine that within the last decade or so, we decided that it was okay for homosexuals to get married. Like, are you serious? Why was that ever an issue? Like, folks in my generation never gave a shit. Like, okay, cool. And, I've got some friends who are a little older than me, and they would say things like, well, yeah, I think everybody should be able to be miserable, but like on some level, that's always just tickled me. Like, wait, what now?
Yeah.
Who cares? Why do we care?
I know what.
Not my business.
Not my. I'm the same way. I never got that, and I think that's the reason the world has changed so much, based on same-sex marriage. And boy, we're really getting into politics.
Well, no, I don't mean to. I'm just saying, I think a lot of times in life, when people don't understand something or they don't have experience with it, then they villainize it.
Yeah.
They shit on it. And I grew up with a gay uncle, so it was always like, okay, if my uncle wants to get married, let him get married. What's the big deal? I mean, but I had a different experience. So I'm not mad at those who don't have that experience. I think we can all learn and get better. You know what I mean?
Watch out. This is when it really gets crazy.
He's falling all over himself to kick somebody's ass.
I'm telling you, right now, the Horsemen are going, oh, shit.
Just play dead. Get in the fucking corner and turtle up.
Flair backed up.
He did.
He gonna take a great bump, and he did, obviously, but he gets... It's like they fucking let a tornado loose.
All of a sudden, it's like Hawk didn't... Yeah. I think Rick probably backed up going, does Mike know that this is a work? Like, we're all fine. If you could not kill me, that'd be good.
Can you imagine? I mean, just think of this. You know how intense he always was. And he's there watching these guys battle and cut and bleed. And he is just, as the old cliche goes, chomping at the fucking bit to get in, right? Yeah. And so when they let him in, it's like letting a lion loose out of his cage.
I used to hang around with a friend who, I won't say what business he's in, but it's loosely affiliated with the mortgage business.
Okay.
And we did a lot of business with him, and he was based just north of Nashville, a little town. I won't say where, I might give it away, but he would come down and visit, and he's a guy who was super family man, wife and 3 kids, lovely boy, 2 daughters, whole deal, but lives on like a compound. So he's got like his brothers out there on that same piece of property and his parents on that same piece of property. But this is a guy who's in church 3 days a week and all that type stuff. But buddy, when he would come to Huntsville and I was single, he would be like, you ever have like, you have to put your dog in a pen and, cause you got to go run errands or whatever. And you don't want him to get into any mischief. Right. And you wind up being a little later coming home than you hoped. As soon as you open that door, the dog feels the need to not only dart out of the cage, but he wants to run outside and run around the house 2 or 3 times just to get that nervous energy off. That was my friend. That was my friend. And that was Road Dog, or not Road Dog. That was the Road Warrior Hawk right there.
Yeah.
As soon as they opened the cage, he shot out like your dog who'd been there a little too long.
Yeah.
And he was ready to go.
Yeah. Bug and Chewy, we do that every time Lois and I go out. We put them in a kennel, what we call a kennel.
Yep.
And we come in the door, they go fucking nuts.
Yes.
And they're doing it at the cage. And we open the door and I always say, go get them. And they fucking run, and we got hardwood floors, and they're scooting on the hardwood floors.
They're running so fast as Fred Flintstone.
That's right.
Just in the same spot.
It's hilarious. We really enjoy it every time. And then they shoot outside, and we let them go, go pee or whatever.
And then as soon as they smell something new, they stop.
That's right.
They go from a full sprint to new smell. What is this?
And when the first one pees, the other one's got to go pee on top of that. It's
absolutely,
it's wonderful. It's wonderful having a dog. But yeah, you're right. I know we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but you're right. It was like letting your dog out.
Total chaos.
Yeah,
man. JJ Dillon, you got to feel for him in there with Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. On some level, he's going to be like, guys, I'm a manager. Can I go sit down, please?
Yeah.
And he probably wishes when the night was over that he was supposed to, because as I recall, they broke his shoulder, right?
Yeah, they did. And it's one of those things where, okay, this is kayfabe's still alive back then.
Yeah.
But I think almost everybody knew the one. Didn't we all know that JJ was going to be the one to submit? I mean,
yeah. I mean, listen, you can sometimes tell when you look at a matchup, oh, that guy's taking the fall.
Right.
And here, yeah, it would make sense because you're going to quote unquote hurt him less as far as his standing with the fans and the ability to work house shows and draw money. And oh, look at JJ blading right on camera.
I know.
Hadn't seen that since a few Wednesdays ago.
Kids. Well, you know, how about putting the video font up right in the middle of the match like we saw, in case you not show Cyril what you're watching.
Yes,
The
this
War
is not a
Games.
prison riot.
It's
Called the WarGames.
yeah.
By the way, when did that movie WarGames come out with Matthew Broderick? Was that around this time? Was that the next year?
That was early 80s because that was right after Lois and I were married.
Okay.
So yeah,
Let me go ahead and throw that in here.
it's probably 81, maybe 82.
I don't believe that was that early. I mean, I believe you that you believe that. 83.
83. Okay.
It's been a while since I saw that. I may watch that a little later.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool movie.
Get in the WarGames mode.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so I've been in the times that I have, my life has changed because my sleep schedule has changed.
Of course.
Because I stay up late now.
Right.
Because I have to. So now I'm staying up late here at the house to try to stay
On
on the
that
same
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of video games.
And
And I've opened up a Twitch channel. I've only done it like twice, but there's old battery RAM there. But I'm going to do a lot more of it. And I have discovered, I may have mentioned this on an earlier episode of What Happened When.
Okay.
I've discovered that the gaming community,
yeah,
or some, here's, wait a minute. Here's the,
let's track it.
yeah,
Right on the shoulder.
yeah. He put his arm up immediately.
See him grabbing the shoulder.
Yeah.
To keep the Horsemen and work on JJ. This thing here. The Tully the referee.
Yeah, his arm's kind of laying over.
So just so I'm clear, I feel like that's JR's voice too.
Yeah.
Would this have been, where would this have ranked? Because this is 87. So this is around the same time of the acquisition, right?
Yeah. I think, and I may be wrong, and I could talk to JR. He may know. Even David may know. I think this is the first time Jim and I ever worked together.
Really?
Yeah. And there you see JJ, who is in severe pain.
And it's going to have to go to the hospital right after this. No fooling.
Right. And I think that, is it over? See, this is where, yeah, the winner's the match. This is where it gets convoluted, right? Because it's just like all of a sudden the match stops.
Right. And I think you and I talked about this before because you're the first person I ever heard sort of be critical. Let's track Chuck and Tom. We'll come back.
Event. Introducing first from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 265 pounds, Rick Steiner. And now his opponent, the Western States Heritage Champion from Sweetwater, Texas, weighing in at 250 pounds, Barry Windham.
So the Western States Heritage Championship, who's your favorite champion of that prestigious title?
Zbyszko.
Well, I mean, there were three, right? I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, you years ago said, nah, I didn't like the WarGames. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And you had some real logic behind it I had never heard before. And now I've decided I agree. Not necessarily that I don't like the WarGames, but that it should have a 1, 2, 3.
That's right. The fans pop on that.
Your contention, and I think you're spot on, is that it builds to the drama with the 3 count. Fans are conditioned to understand 1, 2, is it gonna fall? Is it gonna fall? Will he? Can he? Is this the end? No.
Yep.
Okay. As opposed to, okay, yeah, I quit. There's no anticipation. There's no build. You made a lot of sense with that. And I went from thinking Tony is out of his mind to, damn, that's Schiavone's pretty slick, because I agree with that.
I felt that from the word go when I heard about this, because go back now. And of course we've seen the War Games already here. Go back. There were 10 men in the ring, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the match stops. And the only way you know that match stops is when Tom Miller announces so-and-so is submitted. And you're thinking, where did that happen? In that conglomerate and all those people bloodied and beating on each other, where did that happen? And I think he said JJ submitted. I'm not sure that he said that or not. But it's like, to me, it's confusing. And see, again, I'm going to put our company over because that's what I do. But I'm true. What we did was we brought him up on top of the cage, right? So everybody could see him. And now the focus was on them. And that's where the submission happened, right up on top of the cage. And of course, then, you know, we've had me and look at me and me and Jim Ross, JR together.
Let's track a little bit. Here you go. Right. I'm not trying to be critical, but the mix on this is fucking way off, is it not?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Like you guys are so low and the crowd's really loud, which is cool, but god dang, I sure would like to hear a little more of y'all.
There's a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Wyndham got, look at that chick in the sequin dress. You see that?
Yeah, man. She got a big night planned.
She was dressed up like she was going to the damn prom.
She was, and her prom was going to be some hotel, I would imagine.
Who was getting the last dance?
I don't know.
And was anybody asking to cut in?
Chances are back in 87, yes.
Probably so. Let's read some of the Observer. That's right. They had Observers back in 87. The top story of the week revolves around Jim Crockett's Great American Bash Tour, which began this past Wednesday. From the early reports, it appears that July will be even more successful than many of us had expected, as 3 of the first 4 shows drew large crowds and massive gates. The tour opened on July 1st in Lakeland, Florida for a $40,000 house, which was a lot less than expected, but still impressive for a city that size. July 2nd at the Capitol Center, which was the NWA's debut at the main arena in the DC area, drew nearly 15,000 fans and 194 grand. July 3rd in Richmond drew 8,500 fans with a $15 and $25 ticket for a $125,000 gate. But it was heavily papered in the Omni in the Atlanta area, but they still drew 13,500 and a whopping $250,000 for the match beyond. So that's what we just saw. And he says, since most of the hype was directed at Atlanta, I'll run that show down here and get to the others later in the newsletter. The show opened with Michael Hayes in concert, and I was given a favorable report on that. Tony, you were there. Is that real? Was it a favorable report? Did Michael Hayes do a good job singing here?
I think so.
Okay, look at you.
Yeah, I think, listen, their song, Bad Street USA,
was awesome.
Was tremendous. And that was the highlight of that. And I think that they pulled it off, and, as only Michael Hayes can do, right?
Meanwhile, what we're talking over here is Lex Luger and Nikita Koloff in a cage match. This is not the double ring setups. This is another night on the Bash Tour. I love the way it's lit. I love the way it looks. Anyway, Meltzer will continue. Hayes is a real good showman on stage, and the crowd was really into him. He also had a David Allen Coe's concert, and that was only the first city in the first week, which had musical acts. The rest were all wrestling. So the card started at 8:30 p.m. and they had 12 matches scheduled. Because of that, plus the fact the main event technically was forced by the stipulation to go around 30 minutes, most of the matches were very short, although I'm told they were action-packed for the most part. We had Kendall Windham over Gladiator number 1, who was Gary Royal. They got 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Sting would beat Thunderfoot number 1. You remember who that was?
Yeah, that was Thunderfoot number 1 was Joel Deaton.
You got it. 5 minutes and 40 seconds there. Hectortron pinned Spike of the Mod Squad in 7 minutes. Jimmy Valiant would roll up the Basher of the Mod Squad, and he would write that was the worst on the card. As you saw, Barry Windham would beat Rick Steiner in just 5 minutes. Jimmy and Ronnie Garvin would down Vladimir Petrov and Conga the Barbarian in 6 minutes. Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner would retain the UWF tag team belts, beating Big Bubba Rogers and the Angel of Death. Chris Adams would beat Black Bart. The Freebirds would beat Paul Jones and Ivan Koloff and Manny Fernandez. The Rock and Roll Express would successfully defend against the Midnight Express, but Buddy had only went 4 minutes, and that's a shame. Steve Williams would beat Dick Murdoch in a Texas death match. We also had the Match Beyond, which, as you saw, was 26 minutes. Meltzer would say, I was told everyone but Lex Luger and Paul Ellering bled, and most of them bled very badly. The match was fought tornado style with excellent heat. And while the match wasn't a match of the year candidate, it was great action most of the way through. For those interested, Dusty started against Arn, then came Tully, Animal, Flair, Nikita, Luger, Hawk, JJ, and Ellering in that order. Each time a babyface entered to break up the heels' one-man advantage, the place went pretty wild as the heels controlled everything during those man advantage periods. So that's pretty cool to hear him break down the very first WarGames, and I'm glad we got to watch this together because, as you said, pretty historic show for a lot of reasons. The Big Bash tour, the first WarGames, very soon after the whole acquisition, you and JR working together for the first time.
Right.
Pretty cool little moment here.
Yeah, it's all great. It's all a great moment for Jim Crockett Promotions, and a great time to be involved in wrestling personally for me. I really enjoyed it. When JR got involved in the TBS show, there was a little bit of, David and I had done it for so long together, right?
People didn't want anything else. They wanted that.
Right. And it was really at first uncomfortable for me and David because we had been so used to each other at first. But then quickly I realized that JR was damn good at what he did, and I thought he made it a better show. So then it transitions to me and JR calling the action and David doing the interviews, which I didn't mind, although I really enjoyed holding the microphone for those guys, and I still enjoy holding the microphone for guys. I really do. But, and not only that, I had some historic hair. Good God.
Oh, absolute legendary hair.
Now, by the way, just to let you know, and this is obviously not in the same arena. This is a single ring with a cage around it. And this is the Greensboro Coliseum. And you know how I can tell?
How?
Okay, when they pull out here, that's what
lights
she said.
Around the...
Yeah, around the top. See those little bar lights? Those were the top of the Greensboro Coliseum.
I see.
So, get out of the way of the camera, JJ. God damn it.
Well, the cameras, I think they shot that intentionally over his shoulder.
Yeah, they shot intentionally over his shoulder because he was there. But in reality, and you know what? We've learned so much more about TV now. And a lot of times it's hard to teach these kids who have been basically doing independent wrestling and have not done a lot of what I consider is big network TV. You got to learn to work. Don't have the back of your head in the hard camera. You have to work the side where you face the hard camera. As I'm talking like managers, okay?
Yeah.
Go around and stand to where they can see you. And it's like if a manager goes around and gets between the hard camera and the ring, somebody's going to tell the referee, get him to the other side of the ring. And they just don't know that, because they don't know to work to the cameras. And that's been an ongoing thing since AEW was formed. we've got to work through that. It's not a house show anymore, guys, to where you can go wherever you want to go. You have to work to the camera. And so it's different. And you know what? It's a challenge. I like the challenge. I like the challenge trying to help kids know where the camera is, what to do. I do.
Can I ask you about something we've never talked about before, and you may not know all the information, and even if you do, you may not want to talk about it.
Okay.
And I'll respect that.
All right.
This is in that same issue, The Observer. I had never heard it, and it just jumped off the damn page.
Yeah.
Richard Landrum, who was a TV announcer for Crockett up until around 3 years ago, before Tony Schiavone, was recently convicted of 9 felonious counts in order to spend the next 90 years in prison, or until he's 130 years old, in a bizarre case which seems more like a made-for-TV movie rather than reality. Landrum was convicted of wiretapping his estranged wife's phone calls and then putting a bomb in the car of one of the guys she was dating.
Oh my God.
Now, I feel like I had dinner with Rich Landrum 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I reckon he's over 130, or did he beat this?
He had to beat it because he's done some well, you can do interviews, I guess, from prison.
Did you know about this story?
I did. I didn't know. This is the first time I ever heard about it.
As a rule of thumb, guys, if you can hear me, if you go through a bad breakup, and hey, we've all been there. Don't put a bomb on no bitch's cars, y'all. Lord, that's less than ideal. Shouldn't be doing that.
She must have really been good.
What? I've never. I read it 3 times thinking that it's got to be a type. Are they low on toner here? What's going on? That can't be real. I'm not reading what I'm reading.
Well, I'm looking up his Wikipedia page right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there about this.
You don't reckon
that they made shit up?
I mean,
is Dave ahead of his time? Is Dave ahead of the internet where they make shit up all the time?
Do you have a phone number for him?
For Landrum?
The bottom of this, yeah.
No, I don't. Okay, here's what the Wikipedia says about Rich Landrum, and I do want to read it because Rich Landrum was part of me growing up.
Right.
But I did read an interview that he did back when this was, I think you and I were first starting the podcast.
Holy shit, I just found the court case.
Oh, you did?
Damn. How did I not know about this?
Okay.
A jury convicted Landrum in June of 87 for making and possessing an unregistered bomb.
Well, how do you register a bomb? Okay, go ahead.
The conduct for which Landrum was convicted occurred during 85 and 86. Landrum was sentenced on September 17th, 1987, and as part of his sentence, the district court ordered him to pay restitution to several of his victims, including $1,432 to his ex-wife, Linda Landrum, and $5,483 to her insurer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Virginia, costs of Mrs. Landrum's psychological counseling. Landrum subsequently appealed his conviction, but raised no objection to his sentence, and we affirmed. So listen, it was set aside later, and I guess he beat it and all that, and he didn't wind up going to prison. But I really legitimately had no freaking idea that we were going to ever mention the word bomb outside of a bad angle on this program.
That's an amazing story. Again,
how have I never heard that until today?
No, me neither. And listen to he was
part
of the
Mid-Atlantic
right? territory. I know. I never met Rich, not at all.
Well, I met him at the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest.
Okay.
I did one of those Hall of Heroes dinners. I think it may have been the one where Dick Bourne got inducted.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a different one. Either way, I wound up being there, and I sat at his table, and I have to admit, I didn't grow up watching JCP, so I had no idea who this was. But the idea was at the Hall of Heroes, you'll have some celebrity sit at your table. Well, I got Rich Landrum, but I didn't even know who that was. But I wound up sitting there with Bruce Mitchell, and this is before Bruce Mitchell got canceled 2 years ago or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, oh, dude, I used to read your stuff. Nice to meet you. That was my first time meeting Bruce. But I had no idea. I mean, I really want to go back in time and have that dinner and be like, so man, can we just talk about the bomb? I mean, I'd probably soften it up a little bit, but I got to pick his brain. Mr.
Yeah.
Landrum, if you're out there, I would love to have a conversations with Conrad about you. We won't bring the bomb up till the end.
But we are going to bring it up. The bomb.
A bomb. Like that doesn't seem like a real sentence, man.
Yeah.
A bomb.
Again, she must have been good.
What does that even mean, Tony?
What do you think it means?
Well, it means after this match, we need to take a damn break.
She must have been a good lover, Conrad, is what I'm saying.
You ever had relations so good that if you thought somebody else would get it, you'd bomb that motherfucker? That's never even crossed my mind.
No. Referee bump.
Well, you're right though. We need to have the conversations with Conrad with her.
Yeah. Well, she's an elderly lady now.
So Lois put that thing on you when you had your special birthday a few years ago.
So anyway, Rich Landrum said on an interview
Yes, sir.
that Tony Schiavone hates the business. I remember reading that.
Oh,
And I remember thinking, fuck you, dude.
you like the business better than you like your ex-wife.
That's right. You don't know about me. And I guess he just read that on the internet. And
Well, we just read that he tried to bomb his ex-wife.
but listen, I grew up with Rich Landrum was a host of Worldwide Wrestling, was a great host, great voice. And I watched Rich on Worldwide and Bob Caudle on Mid-Atlantic. Those were my two shows. And when I was in Craigsville, Virginia, we didn't have TBS. And it wasn't until I moved into Stanton during college years that I even saw World Championship Wrestling on TBS with Gordon Soley.
Hey, that's going to get us done, Tony. I'm at 46, 41, 42, 43. When I get to 45, I'm going to hit pause. There it is. We're going to take this time out right now to tell you about our friends at Chili Sleep. Tony, I absolutely love Chili Sleep. It's become a big part of my life. And I know since you were just telling us your sleeping schedule is a little different, Chili Sleep is helping you get the rest you need as well, right?
Yeah, and really the rest that I need is a different hour of the day, different hours of the day. I usually go to bed now about 4 a.m. And sleep until like 11, and I still get my 7 hours sleep. But again, even though my schedule has changed, and even though Lois has said, you've changed your schedule, your sleep is not going to be as good. I'm going, bullshit. I got Chili Sleep, so it doesn't matter what time. And you know what? Even when I take a nap, and sometimes I'll crawl into bed and take a nap, I'll crank that sucker up, buddy.
Absolutely, dude. If I'm in the bed, Chili Sleep is working. We believe in it. You will too. Chili Sleep makes customizable, climate-controlled sleep solutions that help you improve your entire well-being. Let me explain. The science has told us the best way to achieve and maintain consistent deep sleep is by lowering your core body temperature. Now, if you live in the South, you already knew that, which is why you have a ceiling fan over your bed. Maybe you crank down the AC before you go to sleep. I used to do all that. I don't need to anymore, though. Now I've got a Chili Sleep. I have a Uller, but they also make the Cube sleep system. Either way, we're talking hydro-powered, temperature-controlled mattress toppers. Let me explain, guys. This fits over your existing mattress. So it's not a new mattress, but it is pretty awesome. You can sync it with your phone. They've got a great app, and you can control it just like a remote control. You can even automate it to where your bed starts getting cool at the certain time every night. Maybe you want to warm up to wake up. You can do that too. Now, my wife, Megan, she wants to climb into a warm bed, but then she doesn't want to be all hot and sweaty at night. So she wants it to cool her off as she sleeps, but then warm up to wake up. You can do all of that. By the way, we do all this in the same bed. Her schedule and her temperature is different from mine. Chili Sleep can make that happen. I cannot recommend this enough. These luxury mattress pads keep your bed at the perfect temperature for deep sleep, whether you sleep hot or cold. They're designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day. Imagine waking up and not feeling tired. And by the way, here's something we haven't talked about on the program. Tony, once upon a time, I had an issue with my Uller. I got on the horn with Chili Sleep. They fixed it right away. New Uller on the way. And so there's a lot of products out there. And so like in my business, in the real estate and mortgage game, when people are looking for a builder, I remind them all the time, guys, a lot of folks can build you a pretty house. What you want is a builder who will stand behind his product. Chili Sleep stands behind their product. Their customer service is off the charts. If I got tattoos, I'd consider getting a Chili Sleep tattoo, Tony. And that's how strongly I feel about this product. Tell them about our special offer we got right now.
Okay, guys and gals, head over to chilisleep.com/WHW to learn more and save 30% off the purchase of any new Cube or Uller sleep system. This offer is available exclusively for What Happened When listeners and only for a limited time. That's Chili, CHILI, sleep.com/WHW to take advantage of our exclusive discount. And as we do, wake up refreshed every day.
Tony, let's get back to it. I'm at 46:45, and we're going to press play here in 3, 2, 1, play.
So Luger just used JJ's just slid him the chair. Referee went down. He hits Nikita with it, and he is your winner, Lex Luger. Still the U.S. champion. By the way, Lex Luger will be at Starrcast.
Absolutely will.
How about this one? Dr. Death's got Magnum with him in a Texas death match. This is back again at the Omni with the 2 rings. Hey, God.
Captain Redneck, baby.
Yeah, man. Something else.
What a character he was.
Wow.
You know, he's a guy that I've heard a whole bunch of negative stuff about.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of that. I just saw the matches back in the day. And he would do like this Three Stooges routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it tickled me.
Yep.
But then you learn more about some of his beliefs, and you're like, well, I don't know about all that.
Right.
Look at Magnum, man. What a moment this was.
Great look at the boss, Magnum TA. And Magnum TA will be in Dr. Death's corner. And his counterpart, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the accomplice of Dick Murdoch. There's Hot Stuff, and he's having some words with Magnum. Magnum over there has his arm in a sling.
So Dick Murdoch was going to do a promo. He grabbed the mic, and they just cut that right out and jumped right into the action.
Mm-hmm. Love seeing Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. What a talented kid he was, buddy.
We just talked about him, believe it or not. Mick Foley and I did on his new podcast, Foley is Pod. Mick gives him, I'll get it right, a lot of credit for helping getting him going to become like this indie superstar, in between his television stints, I suppose, with WCW. But go out of your way to check it out. Eddie Kingston, our mutual friend, liked it so much because Eddie Gilbert was one of the first inspirations for Eddie Kingston. He said he's one of the first guys he saw and thought, man, I want to do this. How fun is that?
Yeah. I may have said this on the show, and if I have, please let me know, because I do at my age tend to repeat myself. But I told Eddie Kingston about a month ago, that we're a better company because of him.
I agree.
I just my respect, love, admiration for Eddie Kingston is off the charts. Just amazing kid.
I made sure to text him Thursday morning after his Barbed Wire Everywhere match. Mm-hmm. And I know that sometimes guys can be, as a human being, mm-hmm. not just as a wrestler, not just as a performer, not just as a public person, but sometimes we're our own worst critics. And I feel like sometimes Eddie Kingston, and I don't know, I'm not proclaiming to be like best of friends with Eddie or anything. I'm just saying, I feel like sometimes it comes through in his promo that because his promos are real, by the way, that he is his own worst critic. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, dude, I just want to make sure as a fan, he has the proper context. So I just texted him some nice words about, dude, you were in the main event of a fucking barbed wire match on TNT against Chris Jericho. Mm. No matter, what you wish could have been a little different here or there. And we didn't talk about any of that, but I just know that some guys, you know, like as you know, I have somebody who's pretty close to me who's kind of a big deal in WWE, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves that every match is supposed to be the best one ever. But we as fans, we don't have that expectation. We just want to be entertained.
Yeah. Eddie is his own worst critic.
Well, see, I appreciate you saying that. I didn't know that, but I certainly got that vibe. And I was like, dude, that was a big deal what happened last night. And I don't want him walking around saying, man, I wish I could have did this, or I should have did that, or whatever people do. I mean, we all do that.
Yeah.
But I just, I'm so happy for him, because a few years ago, a lot of people, maybe him included, didn't think he was going to quote unquote make it. Eddie Kingston has made it.
Yes, he has.
And it's not just him receiving the benefit. I appreciate what you said, that AEW is a better company because of him. He's not a scavenger fish just hanging on along for the ride. Yeah. He's bringing value every time that red light's on.
And he's so easy to work with behind the scenes. He really is. And let me tell you something about being your own worst critic. Well, Murdoch could not continue. And we're all probably better for it. Well, wait a minute. He went to get something. He's not done yet. He rolled over to the table there and picked up something. And now, as we used to be able to say, we used to call this a Pearl Harbor.
Can't do that.
Can't do that anymore.
No.
Attack them from behind. But anyway, being your own worst critic, there's a couple of ways you can go with being your own worst critic. You can better yourself and become a better wrestler and a better interviewer because you're so determined to get better. And every time you hear yourself, Murdoch is fucking with us right here, by the way. He knows where he is. He sat down in the damn chair. Anyway, you can be, it seems, sitting in the chair. You can be your own worst critic, and he's holding on to JR. He's Dick Murdoch, buddy. Overselling. As only Dick Murdoch could do. So anyway, you can be your own worst critic, and it can make you a better wrestler and a better interviewer and just a better employee. Or you can be your own worst critic, and you're so wrapped up in being your own worst critic that you are paranoid and you just don't function. You don't improve.
Right.
There's a fine line there. There really is. And I've seen it in wrestling. For so long. Murdoch just tumbled out of the ring there. Wow. Here's something you won't see these days.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, here's something else that didn't age well. But, and back then, of course, I think they started rocking all that gear out in world class. And it was supposedly about Texas versus Georgia, because that used to be part of the Georgia flag. And it was more of a state rivalry thing. And, of course, these days, we know that, well, to a lot of folks, that represents hate, and it is gone and canceled forever. And by the way, cool with me.
Yeah, that's fine.
If there's anything that some sort of symbol represents hurt and upset feelings, and okay, well, let's get rid of the symbol. That's easy.
I've never been a flag person.
No, me neither. Like, I don't have any flags.
No. And you know what? I don't. Lois is a flag person. I mean, both of our fathers were in the military.
Right.
And so I get it. But
absolutely.
Lois's father retired in the military. My dad just served his years and then left. But she is really big into the American flag being at our house. And I hate to say this, and I don't want to be shit on before, but it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. It really doesn't. If she wants to put it up, great. Where's our flag? Yeah.
We don't have any. I mean, I'm not anti-American, Lord. I'm proud to be an American, and I can't.
Right.
That's a controversial thing to say in 2022, but I understand. We've had our fair share of problems, not just recently, but since the beginning.
Wait a minute. I'm proud to be an American is a controversial thing.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You and I have some mutual acquaintances who were ashamed to be Americans.
Okay.
I am not one of them, but let me
Okay.
say this: at the lake house that we've talked about here on the show, you know, don't fuck with that goose and whatnot. It had a flagpole towards the end of the little peninsula.
Yeah.
It has now collapsed, and it's
Okay.
the flagpole is busted. Well, we're replacing it with a new flag, and I'll probably put one, you know, on the boathouse, and I'll certainly have one on the back of my boat and all that, because those are like cool things to do. But I'm going to go from being somebody who doesn't have an American flag anywhere at my house, unless it's on some piece of decor that I kind of forget about right now. But it's not like a real deal flag, to somebody who probably has 3 just because, you know, there's a spot for it, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, it's just a symbol. Carry on your life. Take care of your family. Be a good person. Work hard. Go to church. And don't worry about what a flag says. Just keep on moving. As Dustin Rhodes has said, and his father told him back in his bleak part of his life, which was very bleak, keep on stepping. And that's his motto. And that's what I say. If you're offended by what you see, keep on stepping. Worry about your life. That's all I do. Paul Jones, way past his prime here, and looks it. And once again, he's obviously going to be the one to take the fall. 1, 2, 3.
Look at you. It's like you've done this before.
Right. Yeah. So there was it.
We got a handful of questions I want to get to, but first I want to mention coming up next, it's $100,000 barbed wire ladder match, lights out, non-title. $100,000.
That's a lot of money in any era.
So what they're talking about, as you recall, is JJ conning Jim Crockett and putting up the $50,000 on his behalf.
Right.
It's going to be a standard ladder match, but the ropes are going to be covered in barbed wire. And this is, by the way, 1987.
Right.
So just want to remind everybody, when people talk about this guy invented a ladder match, that guy invented a ladder match, I hear you. Here's one in 1987 with Dusty freaking Rhodes. It's not just a regular old ladder match. We got barbed wire wrapped around the ropes.
Yes, sir, buddy.
When I see Tully dressed here in his jeans, got his bandana around his neck, a 4 Horsemen t-shirt. Look at Dusty, taped up fists, got a flannel shirt, rocking jeans. It feels like they're getting ready for a bunkhouse battle royal.
Yes.
There's Dark Journey, who recently, I think, had a picture posted over the weekend with Missy Hyatt. I think they were on the beach together. I wonder what they talked about.
Wow.
Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall for some of those conversations?
I just actually would have loved to have been sitting there with them.
Oh, I know that. So if there was a makeup chair nearby or a beach chair, some wine you could swirl around with them till late in the night.
Hey, this is from Charlotte, by the way.
Yeah, you can tell just based on the setup.
Right. And it's the Stadium Outdoors.
Absolutely.
In Charlotte.
Is it just me, or as Cody gets older, does his facial expression start to look more and more like Dusty?
Thinking the same thing with that hair slick back, that blonde hair.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like once upon a time, I was like, man, they don't look anything alike. And now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Cody nursing his injury, I understand.
Yep, doing the rehab. Won an ESPY last week. How about that?
I heard that. I saw that. I just saw a graphic online. I didn't read about it, but what was the ESPY for?
Biggest moment in WWE of the year, and it was, I believe it was his return at WrestleMania.
Yeah. That was a big moment.
Oh, it was a huge moment.
Yeah.
I'm
so happy for him. I really am. We've talked about that.
You know, I appreciate you saying that, because there is this narrative out there that I think fans misunderstand sometimes, that, well, if you work for AEW, you hate everyone who works for WWE. You sleep under an AEW blanket. You don't talk to those people. You don't look in their general direction. Guys, that's a little silly.
You put it in very, very kind terms. Fans don't understand. You say some fans don't understand. No, they understand. They're just fucking idiots.
Well, I'm not gonna say that people
They
who
are
listen to our
worthless
show- Oh, wow.
fucking idiots.
I'm gonna agree to disagree there.
Okay. Now, I'm not, listen, love our fans. I do. I love every fan that comes, but the ones that get behind the keyboard and say this shit on social media are pieces of shit. They are. You can give your opinion and we take it to heart. But if your opinion is tainted because you love WWE and because you love WWE, you hate AEW or the reverse.
That's negative.
Why? You know, I was on Chris Jericho's, I think I may have mentioned this. I was on Chris Jericho's podcast when, what happened? It wasn't when Bobby Eaton died, but it was Meltzer and I were on Chris Jericho's podcast. And so as we're waiting on Chris and we get on Zoom, Dave and I are talking.
Oh, it's when Jim Crockett died.
When Jim Crockett died. That's right. So Dave and I are talking, and Dave is the one that brought up, he said, isn't it just like odd? I don't even use the word odd or terrible or stupid that some fans are the way they are, that why would fans want people to lose their job? You know, hope they go out of business. Why? I know I've brought up this narrative before, but my God, I want everybody to prosper.
Right.
When I see someone at the side, when I see someone at the side of the road, look at that eye bleeding on Dusty. I feel bad for them, you know, and not all people on the side of the road begging for money are legit, but I want to see everybody be happy, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And there's a lot of people say, well, they're just kids that like stirring up shit, and I don't know. But here's your first ladder match, $100,000, right? High above the ring.
$100,000.
And your first ladder match. I would say got right out of Home Depot, but I don't think Home Depot was a thing back in '87.
Now,
it may have been.
Let me mention this. I know that I'm going to get blown up because when I talked about first ladder matches, people are going to think that I was denying that it happened in Stampede first. I know it happened in '72 in Stampede Wrestling. Not arguing. But I feel like a lot of people think the first ladder match was Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall at WrestleMania 10 in 1994.
Yeah. And
some other people think, no, it was actually Bret and Shawn in 1992. Both of those matches happened, but in 1972, Stampede Wrestling did it. But as far as a national platform, this, in my opinion, is the first big one. Now, there may have been one abroad that I don't know about, World of Sport or something like that, but here in America, first big one right here.
There you go. You know how to prevent people from blowing up your Twitter?
Don't look at it.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know that me and you talked about this, but I don't have social media on my phone anymore.
And you're probably much happier.
I deleted it. You know, I had too much going on.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Something's got to give. Can't do all this. So
right.
After this match, by the way, I said me and you take another break.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen a lot of gore and a lot of blood in this episode of What Happened When, man.
Well, they knew what they needed to sell on videos, and I'm watching this and I'm wondering, Tony, did I drop the ball? Should I have had a barbed wire match for Jim Crockett Promotions next Sunday or this Sunday? Because I didn't do that.
No, you shouldn't have. You're doing the right thing.
By the way, if I was going to, I would have tried to get Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. I do want to ask you this, son. I think you and I have talked about this off air, but here comes JJ in. Oh, he just cold cocked out.
Just nailed the referee.
Get the fuck out of my way. Okay.
Anyway, you were going to ask me about this, you said.
Yeah. This should be the finish of the match. I'll ask you afterwards. So let's see how this all works.
So Barry Windham comes in to cut off JJ Dillon. Tully's trying to climb the ladder, and Dusty couldn't get him off. So Dusty drop kicks the ladder. That's right. A Dusty drop kick to the ladder. Down everybody goes. Now Dusty has the glove. He's trying to put the glove on it and won't fit. So he just hits Tully with it, puts it near his penis meat in his jeans.
And JJ continues to get choked out.
And now he's going to have the referee hold the ladder.
He's there. He's got it. Dusty Rhodes has the money.
Dusty Rhodes has the money.
Tony, we're at when we get to 106.20, I'm going to hit pause.
Okay.
And we're there now. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout right now, because I'm sure if you were in that ring and you got your hands on $100,000, you'd have a Woodrow. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Well, if you want to feel like you too just won $100,000 and you want a Woodrow, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help you in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. Give your wiener the hot tag with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take these Blue Daddies anytime, day or night. So you can plan ahead or be ready to do a little run-in, if you will. Now, the process is simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And here's the best part. It's all done online, baby. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. They're prepared and shipped directly to your door, all in a discreet package, but there won't be anything discreet about your package. Tony says it gets him so hard, even a cat couldn't scratch it. I had some delivered to my office this week. I was so excited. I ran right home and put on a show, and I'm waiting for Meltzer's review. I hope he gives me at least 4 stars. But Tony, we're going to talk about how we can help our listeners get a free hot tag for their ding dong. Tell them about it, Tony.
Yeah. If you'd like to run right home and put on a show, I like how you phrase that. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code WHW at checkout and just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code WHW at checkout to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Always, they were a charter member of What Happened When. They've been with us the longest.
Which is why we're coming to you live from the Blue Chew studios, because everything around these parts is hard thanks to Blue Chew. Check it out right now. Tony, let's get going again here in 3, 2, 1, play. And we are back at it here as we see Dusty Rhodes celebrating with $100,000, giving a little hug to his friend Barry Windham, and off they go to the big stadium show here in Charlotte. And there's your winner. And of course, you know what's coming up next, or maybe you don't recall, but
I don't.
Here it is. The world heavyweight champion, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, going to be taking on Jimmy Jam Garvin. Got Precious in the corner.
Yeah.
Little old school stuff here. It's a cage match. Flair considered Jimmy a non-contender. So he's demanding that Precious is here as a collateral for this title shot, I suppose.
Yeah, winning the date. I guess this is about the same time. Again, the Greensboro Coliseum, as you see the lights.
Look at that robe again. The white one
is.
with the purple trim. It's everywhere.
Yeah. You know, as I shouldn't have done this, but I did. I said I got something to say, and then we got into our talk, and I forgot.
That's okay. It'll come back to you.
No, what were we talking? I don't know what we were talking about.
The big gold belt, Tommy Young. Man, all the feels here. Man, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, every time we've seen Rick today, he's been wearing purple tights too.
Wow.
I got to look at Rick's gear. He's got purple boots with white letters, purple knee pads, purple trunks, white letters, purple shirt. Got the Nature Boy on the back, just like the robes.
Looks good. I really like the color purple. I don't mean the movie or the book.
I was fixing to say Oprah Winfrey agrees.
Mm-hmm. And a quick start here.
Well, that sounds like a shitty edit. Hey, let me ask you. I don't know if you
That was a shitty edit.
if you got to see any on social media,
Mm.
but people really loved our conversation last week about my visit to a certain steakhouse bar.
Yeah.
Sir, this is a Longhorn Steakhouse. I can't tell you how many times I got that text or I got it in tweets this week. Just fun, hilarious stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what you and I just it's off the cuff stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't hit record on this podcast and say, "Hey, by the way, I got this." We don't.
No.
We just we start our Zoom. You say you ready? I said I'm ready, and there we go.
Let her
That's
rip,
how-
tater chip.
That's how we prep, buddy. So yeah, it was like the goose story, right? It gets a life of its own. So, and it was like the who shit on Conrad's floor mystery that was pretty funny until Shuley got involved.
Yeah.
and killed-
Shuley
and killed it.
torpedoed that pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, killed it. Yeah. And I guess to reward him for killing it, you're giving him a stage show at Starrcast, right?
Here's
Or-
the thing. You need to understand the thinking here. Can I just tell you the thinking?
Yeah.
We're going to need to have somebody else on the panel to make fun of besides Rick.
Uh-huh.
Like you've seen the guest list, and there's even some
Yeah.
surprises that aren't even listed,
Yeah. Okay.
but you've seen there's more than what we've advertised or promoted. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so there's going to be some surprises. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's going to be some surprises. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of nice things to say about Rick, but then everybody, and I mean everybody, is going to have a lot of fun poking the bear with Rick. But we need other people on the dais that we can make fun of. And Shuley Agar checks all the boxes
Right.
because he's fun to make fun of,
Right.
but he's also going to bomb. And we all know it.
Yeah.
And you need somebody to get up there and just totally shit the bed. So we got David Manning and we got Shuley Agar. And, then we got some funny people like Corey Ryan Forrester.
Okay.
I was waiting on that. For like a year, he thought you hated him because you shit on him here. And he's so sensitive
I know.
that you hurt his little feelings.
That's why he's fun to shit on.
And so he disclosed that to me once. And I said, "Are you fucking serious, Corey? We bust each other's balls for 3 hours a week." He goes, "I know. And it's great." And I was like, "Why would you think you're any different?" Like Shuley knows when we bust his balls that we mean it. He really sucks. But like with Corey,
Yeah.
you don't suck, buddy. We're busting your balls.
No, Corey, you don't suck until you take your shirt off on social media. Then you really suck.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Keep the fucking shirt on, you fucking goof. That should be a t-shirt too. But yeah, well, good. Well, I'm glad Shuley's going to be a part of it. And the thing about Shuley is he'll bomb and then he'll come back and he'll say, "Man, they liked that shit, didn't they?" It just kind of goes over his head, No, Shuley, you really weren't funny. Well, they were laughing at you, not with you. Two separate things. Flair's calling spots to the corner. There's another horrible edit. Went from the corner to the side. Well, you know what they edited it? Well, it was Turner Home Entertainment. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we can shit on Turner Home Entertainment here.
I'm good with that.
Steve Chamberlain, who was in charge of Turner Home Entertainment. I've told you the story that it wasn't until Steve, and I was there when he was watching it. Great American Bash match from Charlotte. Don't remember the year. And I was sitting in the edit suite with him, and Jimmy Valiant came out with the Boy from New York City Music on that tape.
Yep.
And he said, wait a second. You guys use this on TV? And I went, yeah, they always have. I mean, I didn't know anything about music rights or anything. I just thought that they played it and they could play it. And he said, we can't use this. I said, Well, buddy, don't tell me. You need to let the Crockett's know. And it was that moment when I was in the edit suite with Steve Chamberlain watching footage that it all changed. And all that music, Boy from New York City, Sharp Dressed Man, all went away. Now, Flair's music didn't go away because that, I believe, was non-royalty music, or I don't know. It's not eminent domain, but it's. And then, of course, there were some things about that. Then they changed Flair's music around a little bit to where it sounded like that. So that was that moment. So Turner Home Entertainment had a hand in that. And I always thought, and Sharon Sadello was a part of Turner Home Entertainment when we first started as well, and Steve Chamberlain, I always thought those people were like, they didn't know anything about wrestling. I mean, look, Turner Home Entertainment, they were the ones that blew up the boat with Sting and Vader.
Yep.
On the beach, and the small guy. Can we say dwarf? Is that
a little person? I think is the correct term.
A little person, okay. So it was Turner Home Entertainment. So again, that wasn't that I understand, but you got to back then you have to cut matches up, edit matches to put them in with your time frame, your video cassette. And I get that. But that was a terrible edit. And the reason I get that is that's one of the things I do every week. Every weekend I come home on Thursday. I've got voice repairs to do now that I'm back on Rampage. Or now that I'm on Rampage, voice repairs to do. And then I look at the footage and I look at camera shots that I think don't work. And then sometimes we got to pull time out of a match because the match ran too long. So we got people back in Nashville and I look at it with them and decide, but you got to do a pull up, as we say, that makes sense. You can't go from the corner to them on the side.
Right.
Or it's just not done. See, you can do a pull up here if in fact when you go back to the ring, you take a shot of JJ and then you go back to the ring 3 minutes later. If they're in the same position, you can get away with it. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy watching footage back and help them edit it, help them make it concise, make it better. We did the interview with Claudio that we did on Rampage last week. We pulled some time out of that because we were long, and there was an edit point to where we were able to pull out a minute out of that. We needed that minute, and it was seamless. I just think that's one of the things that fans don't understand. I don't. Maybe they do. I think a lot of fans just don't realize how much work it takes to get a show out. And I'm not only talking about the live show. I'm talking about a tape show. It takes a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll come back and, oh, here's Ronnie Garvin. I don't know if he bled on his shirt or what, or if that's just Ron Garvin. Hey, is Nico via Starrcast?
Ronnie Garvin, yes, he will be.
Hot damn.
I mean, I think we need, just for social, we should have him pop by when you and Tony, or you're Tony, when you and David are on the set doing meet and greets and whatnot, doing photo ops.
Yeah.
And have him look right into a camera and say, and Tony Schiavone, I'm proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Just for all of us who live through. Yes, it's risky business.
Risky business.
I had so much fun with you last year.
You know, we had Ronnie on one of our episodes, and he said, "Stay in touch, man." He wants.
Well, you're going to see him next week. How about?
Yeah, knowing Ronnie, you know, he lives in West Virginia now. Knowing Ronnie owns his own mountain.
Oh, I ain't no doubt.
Because you know, Ronnie was from that school to where you kept the first dollar you ever made.
Yeah.
Ole Anderson was like that too. Not everybody you see in this video is like that, but Ronnie was. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I look forward to it. Unless you put me up at the Red Roof Inn.
What?
I'm also thinking about for the autograph signing,
Yeah.
bringing Bug.
Hey, do you want to stay at my Airbnb? You're
Probably
welcome.
not. Probably not, because I think I'm going to drive back and forth.
Gotcha.
But I appreciate it. I may come over to visit, but yeah, I'm only 3 hours away from Nashville. You know how I am. I'm not a social person.
Oh, I'm aware. But you know, every now and again, you enjoy some of my friends.
Yeah, some of them.
So just axing.
Like Cassio will be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
Cassio and Silva are in my Airbnb and a handful of others, but in my head, hey man, you don't want to be by yourself and all the luxury of a courtyard Marriott or something,
Yeah.
then come hang out at the Airbnb, or as Ric Flair calls it, the Airbnb. I think he thinks it's like a music. I don't like the hip hop, but I'll listen to some Airbnb. You know, Conrad really loves it, I guess. Do they just play like Montel Jordan in these houses you stay in, or what is the deal? This is how we do it.
No, you need to play the Spinners, the Temptations, Stevie Wonder,
the old good stuff.
the old great stuff.
Hey, did you see that Elvis movie?
I did not.
I think you'd like it.
Okay.
It's your speed.
I have, it's my speed. What is that, old and slow?
Did you see the new Top Gun movie?
I did not.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah,
You need to see it in the theater though. Don't see it in your house. Like before it's
Okay.
too late. Take your butt down to the theater. Take Lois, get some popcorn. It would not be the same on a TV screen.
Lois not doing too well.
Oh, what's wrong?
Well, she's having severe back pain. She's got some disc in her back that are giving her problems. And in August, she has to have shoulder replacement surgery.
Oh, Jesus.
So she's in pain a lot.
Man, I hate to hear that. I know that is not going to be fun.
So I can't really, we go out a little bit to the store now and then, not much. She pretty much stays at home. Not because she wants to, like normal, but because she has to. She's just in a lot of pain, and going out to the movie theater, taking her out is not probably going to work. So I'd have to find someone else to go to the movies with, and they won't allow Bug in. So,
Well, I mean, you got all those Howl at the Moon kids. Laurie Schiavone will go with you.
yeah, they've all seen it though.
She can go see it again. It's one of those type movies.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've heard people say it's the best sequel ever. So it should.
Well, Terminator 2 was pretty good.
Yes, it was.
Rocky 4 was pretty good.
Yes, it was. Rocky 3 was pretty good, I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clubber Lang. Flair's got his pants down.
Did I tell
Digging
you?
this, buddy. It's one of his favorite spots.
Oh God.
And
Remind me
look,
to tell him
he
not to do that this weekend in Nashville.
he's going to moon.
Look at you getting a better look at the hole. Standing
What a
up to
great-
get a better look. Oh,
What a great cutaway shot of me. What the fuck was that about? It is. I'm looking right up his asshole.
what's going on with you?
I don't know.
I mean, I knew that was one of your pickup lines. I heard all about that.
What? Looking up the asshole?
I'm not a proctologist, but I'll take a look. Speaking of proctologists, any more words on Vince McMahon no longer being in wrestling? Because that's a sentence that nobody would have expected to fall out of my mouth at all, ever.
Yeah.
But it just did.
No, I have nothing more to say on that. I just it's a really touchy subject. I just hope my friends who work there, and there are many of them, still come out of this looking good. Who's trying to climb here?
Let's track it.
It's a fan. It's a fucking fan. Look, Flair wants at him too, man.
I think they're trying to beat the shit out of him.
Well, I think they did. Yeah, that they want to. Everybody wants a hack at him or swing at him. Holy shit! How about that? Now there's Klondike too. That's heat, buddy.
When they start trying to climb in the cage, that's heat. We agree.
That's heat. Wow. Fan was close, man. The fan has no idea
how close he was to getting fucked up.
Oh, man.
Wow. Big bump for Precious here. Ronnie Garvin's getting after it. Let's track it.
God, he could throw some punches.
So Flair retains, and coming up next, we got the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express, but Flair still going to be strutting around with that big gold belt. So we got the U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express, coming in here to take on the World Tag Team Champions, the Rock and Roll Express. Let's track it. Is that the greatest theme music in wrestling? It's got to be one of them, right?
Yeah, and kudos to FTR for their music paying homage.
Oh, absolutely.
To the Midnight Express. Good stuff, brother.
Let's track the rock and rolls here. Is that the Rock and Roll Express? Is that Ricky singing? Because he put an album out, right?
Yeah, I think that is him singing. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I think we gotta. Is
Is
this it right here? Yeah. The Boogie Woogie Dance Hall. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that should be the Rock and Roll Express theme music next week. Your thoughts?
That would be great. I think it should be as well. As Dutch Mantel said, that hit went plywood. My favorite lines ever. Tony, Ricky Morton has this hit out now, and I do understand from Billboard it didn't go gold, didn't go platinum, it went plywood. What's up?
That's tremendous.
And it just killed me, man. It just absolutely killed me. Well, there's rock and roll buttons for sale that they probably made themselves. This again.
I don't know why, but that song just tickles me.
Yeah, I guess Ricky would know the story. I don't know who made that with him or who they.
It was released through Jim Crockett Promotions,
right? But somebody had to do it. Right. So I don't know.
call. 1, 2, 3,
It's tremendous.
You know, now we have Mikey Ruckus who does all of our music. He's, but back then I don't know who mixed it up. Who mixed it or who produced it or whatever. But yeah, you know, this, I'll tell you, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, never gets old.
No.
Any incarnation. I mean, again, when I'm talking about incarnations, I'm talking about either Dennis or Stan here. Just love it. How about that? Did you notice that?
Yeah. Kick him in the butt.
No. Robert slapped his leg when he kicked him in the butt.
Oh shit. I missed that.
He sure did. So don't go around saying that the guys, this era, just all, they were doing it back then too. He sure did. Let's see if Robert does it again. That'd be worth watching. He just did it again on Enziguri. I don't know if you saw that angle or not. Robert Gibson was the inventor of the leg slap.
Well, he's got to be near. I mean, I think it was the first person I saw do it was Chris Adams with the super kick.
Okay. All right.
But still, Robert Gibson, who everybody respects, was doing it here in 87.
Right. Sure was. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That I picked up on that. It's amazing. God. I'm really digging the show, Conrad.
It's a good show, man. This is, not nearly as long as we would have liked. We talked about how it was really, really short.
Yeah.
But still, I just absolutely love these two tag teams. I wish they had more time, but the reason we're short, of course, is because as we said, we started this at 8:30 after a concert, and there's 12 matches and the main event's got to go 30. By the way, we opened the show with the very first WarGames. We're going to close the show with the second WarGames, Tony. And that's coming up next year. It'll be Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, and the War Machine, who we know as the Big Boss Man. But at this point, he's Big Bubba Rogers, the real life Ray Trailer. On the other side, it's Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, Hawk, Animal, and Paul Ellering. So basically the same match as the first, with War Machine taking the place of the injured JJ Dillon. Everybody pretty much unanimously thought that the first WarGames was a 5-star affair. Some other reviewers and opinion makers out there thought that this one was maybe a 4-star affair. Yambag Jones writes in. He's got a question for you, Tony. He wants to know, how many geese would it have taken to beat the Horsemen in a WarGames match?
1.
Oh, really? You think one goose gets? You don't think Arn Anderson could have shown that goose a thing or two about a thing or two?
No. Goose has wings.
Okay.
He'll flip around and move from person to person, gouge you in the fucking eye, spur you in the nose, probably stick a beak down your ear hole. Okay. Blow into your head, blow up your brain, and then flip and flop around for another guy. And then what a goose does, it's really cool. The goose plays possum. You think he got in the corner, you think he's gone, you turn and walk away, fucker's on the back of your head. Every time. So yeah, one goose. Horseman done. And they're, goose, they travel in they don't travel with just two. They travel in groups, right?
Yeah.
So one goose is going to take care of you. But if you think that, if the geese think that the goose can't handle it, they'll get involved. But it just takes one. Notice how I said geese and not gooses?
Yeah.
My damn English language, buddy.
Well, why didn't you say that? Listen, is it a gaggle of geese?
No, it's a bunch of them.
I mean, I think it's a gaggle of geese.
Okay.
A group of geese is called a gaggle. This is because when geese get together, they get quite noisy and rowdy.
Yeah.
They're only referred to as a gaggle when they're on land.
Yeah.
When they're flying in formation, they can be referred to as a skein.
A skein.
Never heard skein, but I knew about gaggle.
Yeah. Well, some advice: if there's a gaggle of geese outside in your front yard and you're trying to sleep, don't go out and tell them to shut up.
Well, that's a fact. Let me also mention this. There's an expression we've all heard.
Choke the goose.
Wow, you've heard of that before? Who says choke?
No, it's choke the chicken. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yes, I've heard that.
A male goose is called a gander. Now, we on this show have foolishly said daddy goose.
Yeah.
When we talked about my situation. But a female goose is sometimes called the dame.
The dame.
Yeah. So I know that you used to be hitting on them dames in AEW back in the day. WCW, getting them dames in the makeup chair. Well, now we know, but male goose, gander, female goose, dame, a baby goose, a gosling.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
And a whole group of geese on land, a gaggle.
A gaggle.
Whereas if you want to see one Schiavone by themselves, male or female, or in a group, they're just known as asshole. So if you see female Schiavone, asshole, male Schiavone, asshole, group of Schiavones on water, assholes, group of Schiavones on land, assholes, group of Schiavones in the air, flying assholes.
Hey,
young Schiavone, baby asshole.
Hey, listen to me. Hey, it has to be one of the most fucked up finishes ever.
What we just saw.
Hey, he disqualified the Midnight Express because he saw Bubba's hat in the ring. Now, Bubba did get involved and he didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah.
But he just saw his fucking hat in the ring. How can you logically tell me that hat didn't just could have been, I don't know, somebody could have taken it and thrown it in the ring, right? It's just, what a fucking cockamamie finish that was. Watch. Let's take a look at the replay, Conrad. Here's a gaggle of Rock and Roll Express with a double drop kick.
We know based on the rumor and innuendo that of this pairing, Robert Gibson is the gander.
Right.
But this coming weekend or this Sunday, you'll be able to see the gosling of the Rock and Roll Express, Kerry Morton. And they're going to be trying to fly around with that double drop kick, the skein of the Rock and Roll Express. So here we go. Episode 1 of WarGames. The very first WarGames was known as the Bomb. Well, this episode 2 here of WarGames is known as, man, I love that green robe. It's known as the Explosion. So we got JJ Dillon and Dark Journey here for this one. And there is the
War Machine.
Yeah.
Big Bubba.
And by the way, I have
that 6-man belt. Look at that 6-man belt around Dusty's waist.
Hate you so much.
Okay.
I hate you so much.
You know where it is.
Yeah.
You know where the fucker is.
But you were supposed to give it to me. You told me you would give it to me. So let's run through this. Here's what I'm going to do this Christmas.
Oh, I'm not going into that.
I'm going to send you a picture of something on a shelf at Target. Here's your present. But where is it? You know where it is. Go figure out how to get it out of there.
I'm not going to get in an argument with you, but do you know where this one was held?
Based on the way it looks like a stadium show.
It's the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Okay.
There's a good shot of it. That's a hell of a crowd, buddy.
Hell of a crowd. Big time action here. Dusty starting again. Will it be Arn Anderson standing across from him? Who's going to be first?
Yeah, it's always Arn. There's
Arn,
another good shit.
I feel like Arn was the most unlucky motherfucker of all time, and that he always had to go first.
He always started. He did. He started in every one of them I saw. Iris down, please. Iris back up. Thank you.
Tony, we just posted what the canvas will look like for Ric Flair's last match over on social media. I just sent it to you in your DMs.
Okay.
I think you'll dig it.
Very cool. Oh, I do have a question. I don't know if we can talk about it, but we'll give it a shot. Okay.
Yeah.
So David and I are doing the whole show, or am I doing the whole show, or is doing the Flair match?
I'm really glad that you asked, because here's what we've got. We've got, as you know, a huge lineup. If you are not aware, I would encourage everybody to go check it out over at RicFlairsLastMatch.com. We got the Von Erichs taking on the Briscoes, and for that match, you'll be joined by Ian Riccaboni.
Yay.
We've got a pair of competitors from New Japan. As you and I are recording, Clark Connors has recently been announced as being injured, and he will be unavailable to compete.
Damn, he's a good performer.
He's got some sort of herniated disc situation, and he's probably hurting for certain. So, but either way, it's a New Japan match. So at the desk joining you will be Ian Riccaboni.
Whoa.
We've also got a 4-way match with John Gresham, who just lost the Ring of Honor world title to Claudio Castagnoli. Rounding out the rest of that 4-way will be Takeshita, who we both think a lot of.
Oh,
He's
man.
a really big star.
Yeah.
And former AEW Dark Order standout Alan Angels, who's now trying to make a name for himself outside of AEW. And maybe the next big thing, Nick Wayne. Well, Ian Riccaboni, being the voice of Ring of Honor, and John Gresham very recently being their world champion, he will be joining you for that one. When it comes time for Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo to hook it up for the Impact Women's Championship, the third voice in the booth will be Tom Hannafin, the voice of Impact Wrestling. He'll stick around to make sure that he can write some lyrics to the songs and the music that Jacob Fatu and Josh Alexander make for the Impact World title. When it comes time for the American Wolves to hook it up with Motor City Machine Gun, Scott D'Amore will jump in there with you guys.
I'll beat Scott's ass is what I'll do.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'll have him go get lunch for me.
Joe Dombrowski, the voice of MLW, he'll be in there for Killer Cross and Davey Boy Smith Jr., as well as the AAA match. He does some commentary for AAA, so he'll be there to tell us what's going on with Ray Phoenix, Taurus, Laredo Kid, and Bandito. And I don't reckon that you need one for the main event. If I had to guess, I think you and David Crockett can probably figure that one out all on your own. When the Nature Boy himself teams up with his son-in-law Andrade, the face of the Latinos, to take on Jeff Jarrett, that turd, and Jay Lethal, who I used to think a lot of, but maybe not so much anymore.
I'm really conflicted here on that main event.
How so?
Well, because Rick has meant so much to me as far as getting me into this business.
Yeah.
It's something that I never can repay him enough.
Yeah.
But Jay Lethal is one of my favorite people.
I thought he was a salt of the earth human, and I have to admit, I didn't really like the way Rick went about handling Jay.
No.
And I didn't feel like Rick was in the right on that. However, I do think that it's Rick's last match, and if anybody should be able to have a say in what happens in their last match, it should be Rick.
Yeah.
And
there's a way you can approach this without being the way he was.
I agree. It was disrespectful. It was rude. And I would never handle Jay or anybody that way. So I don't necessarily agree with the way Rick did it, but still I hoped that these guys could have just talked through it. I don't know why we have to resort to beating folks up in the parking lots, but that's where we are.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I just noticed the bottom there. They took the wide shot. I was in a tux and I walked over. I'm standing there now.
Oh, here we go. I wonder what's going to happen. Damn it. Those Horsemen win again. Why does this keep happening?
Well, it's like the odds are kind of like the Mega Millions that's out right now. It just seemed that they're lucky. They spent a lot of time in Vegas. I don't think this fooled anybody that War Machine was. Yeah.
War Machine, by the way, is also the same mask that Dusty wore for the Midnight Rider. And you can tell that's actually Dusty's Midnight Rider shirt.
Right.
Because it doesn't exactly fit him sleeve wise and all that. And I actually have that in my studio to my left right now, to your right, Tony.
Whoa.
Hung up, framed, the whole deal. It was the jacket that Dusty wore. It's embroidered on the inside of the pocket. It says Dusty Rhodes. And Got the mask and the shirt and the pants and the whole deal here framed up.
Very cool.
It's wrestling history, man.
Isn't it amazing that I'm with the exception of the old ticket stubs. I think I showed on one of these my old Jim Crockett promotion ticket stubs that I am going to frame with this Mid-Atlantic patch. But with the exception of that stuff, I have nothing in my house pertaining to wrestling. Well, that's not true. I've got a couple of figures over here I got. But
can you post some of those old ticket stubs to Twitter this week?
Yeah.
I just think that'd be fun. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen what the tickets look like for folks who got a commemorative ticket for a ringside seat, but it's pretty fucking cool.
That's great.
Hey, so
tickets are the thing now.
There's rumor and innuendo.
Oh God, I hate that.
That there might be, possibly, potentially, a celebrity commentator joining you for the Horsemen Rock and Roll Express match.
Oh my God.
And I'd be willing to bet you couldn't guess it if you tried. I don't want you to have any guesses.
Okay.
Because we don't want to hit any spoilers, but we, do you remember how back in the day on Nitro, they would bring Mike Tenay out to do the lucha matches because they knew that perhaps you and Bobby weren't all the way up to speed on the lucha stuff?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to do with these different promotions, since we have really literally every promotion from under the sun.
In other words, you don't think I can handle it myself, so you're going to bring in a ringer.
Well, do I think it's fair that you all of a sudden have to learn a whole bunch of new talent?
No, you're right.
On a short note, like, I'm not saying that to be shitty, but like, hey man, tell me your favorite Motor City Machine Guns match.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's a tough ask for not just for you, but let's appreciate too. Realistically, with the exception of a few cameos here and there in AEW, David Crockett has not been actively involved in wrestling since March 26, 2001.
I want you to notice something. I want you to keep in this thought. This camera is yellow.
Okay.
All right. The tint of this camera is yellow.
Yeah, that one's not.
That's blue.
Yeah.
That is something like that in this day and age would be shit upon big time. Yellow. And they'll go back and there's yellow.
Blue.
And there's blue. Yeah. Okay. So, I think I know who it is, but
I bet you don't, but don't guess.
Okay. I won't guess, but I bet I do.
I'll tell you one of the names that you think it is.
Yeah.
Not only won't be on commentary, won't be invited.
Okay.
The story behind the story of this show is going to be the biggest and best fucking podcast I've ever done one day.
Yeah.
I got to get some time underneath my belt here, but Lord, I got tales for days.
I bet.
And there's a few people in particular going to get Double Barrel Jones.
Oh man, I can't wait. I love Double Barrel Jones, especially when it ain't coming from me.
Well, as you know, I am what some of my friends might refer to as a workaholic.
Yes, I do know that.
And I enjoy it. I really do. But every now and again, I'll run across a straight up stone cold fucking idiot. And there's a lot
of them out there, Conrad.
I try to help some of these stone cold fucking idiots. But I learned an expression about, what was it now? 16 years ago through therapy. You can't push a rope. And I ran into a couple of ropes in all of this. And when the time is right, I'm going to square it off.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the eye. I'm going to zero in. Double Barrel Jones.
I've got to hear these stories before they become podcast fodder.
Buddy, any free time you and I have this coming weekend, and once upon a time, if you remember the first Starrcast, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I did not delegate nearly enough. I was overwhelmed as a son of a bitch. I had figured out some of that.
Yeah.
So like 3 was a breeze. And I think 5 is going to feel a little bit like 3, and that, okay, we got this. That's my hope anyway.
So you're saying I can concise what you just said. You're not going to be an asshole to everyone.
No, I'm still gonna be an asshole,
No, okay.
but probably less of one.
Not as much of an asshole, which is
No.
pretty good.
I wanted to fucking run away forever and ever at Starrcast 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because there's so many moving parts to all these different, you gotta remember, you gotta pick up all these folks from the airport. You got to get them to their hotel.
Oh, I know.
And then you got to get them to the venue, and then you got to make sure everything's prepped. Then you got to make sure the graphics, and then, oh, by the way, we got tickets and we got things on sale, and we got to do customer service, and oh, we got merch, and then we got times, and there's a pay-per-view broadcast, because you can watch all these panels for Starrcast, which is really going to be maybe our best set of panels ever. Not maybe, it is. And you can get all that at Fight. Well, that means it's got to be broadcast live and on demand. So you got to get all that going. And as if that's not enough, New Japan's running show in the middle of all that. And so is Black Label Pro. And so is Game Changer Wrestling. And we've got a roast that's not only on Fight, but it's on traditional pay-per-view. If you want to see the roast to Ric Flair, you can watch it on cable. But as if all that's not enough, in the middle of this, Tony, we did a damn documentary about Ric Flair returning. And the last episode, well, at least before the show, just dropped this past Monday at 6:05. So go see episodes 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have 2 and 3 at the end of this episode. I just tacked on in the end, but my goodness, man, like there's so many moving parts. And oh, by the way, when we're done, it's time for Ric Flair's last match. So to just do a wrestling card is overwhelming. To just do meet and greets is overwhelming. To just do all these stage shows is overwhelming. To do all of it, plus a documentary and 15 podcasts and a mortgage company and remodeling a house and trying to keep my wife speaking to me, a lot of moving parts. So I ran into a couple of dumb motherfuckers and I'm like, wait a minute, this benefits you 48 different ways to Sunday. And your counter was this. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie on anybody. I'm going to tell the truth on a handful of motherfuckers, and people will be like, well, they're the biggest, dumbest ass in the history of professional wrestling. And they are.
Well, and now you know why the business can be, for people who work in the front office, so to speak, a very frustrating thing.
Well, it's also a reminder to me that I don't want to be in the wrestling business.
No, you don't.
I like doing mortgages and podcasts. I felt like this was a good idea and a great opportunity. And the entrepreneurial spirit in me made me say, hey, I want to do my first wrestling show. And by the way, it happens to be Ric Flair's last wrestling show. So no pressure. It's not like I couldn't run down to a fucking armory, set up a ring with some folding chairs and see what old Billy Jack Haynes is up to. I didn't do that. I'm fucking swinging for the fences on the first one in a damn municipal auditorium. Yeah. What am I doing? And here I am.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying real hard.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what? That's worked for us a lot of times here on the show.
Yes.
Me and you didn't know fuck all about podcasts, and look at us all these years later.
How about that?
Still doing it, making some doll hairs, remodeling some homes, paying for some weddings. It worked out.
Yes, sir. It all worked out.
But then that dumbass Jeff Jarrett tries to insert himself.
Well, you know, Conrad, this is your fault.
How?
You got him involved in our network. It was Bruce. It was me. And then you thought, well, I need to expand. Well, of course you do. But Jeff Jarrett?
Listen, man, I thought he had a unique story, and I still enjoyed his doing his podcast. I didn't do it this week. Fuck him. But you know, I just, I can't imagine. And listen, I know that, you know, so there was a handful of people who were critical of what happened in that parking lot, but dude, when Rick said it's a hard way, guys, it was. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett hit him in the head with a stiletto, and the point of that stiletto pierced his fucking head. There's no magic in wrestling. I know we talked about it and joked about it earlier, and even the match we're watching now, you're going to see a bunch of blood. That is not what happened here. Yeah. He stabbed my father-in-law in the head. He tried to kill Morgan's grandpa in a parking lot in Nashville. That's dumb and unnecessary. It's a crime. And I just, you know, I could see Jay having his feelings hurt, but Jeff, people talking trash about Jeff, they've been doing that for 40 years.
Yeah.
It ain't new. I can't wait to see Jeff look at the lights this weekend.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
And you know what? You better be a damn good partner for my friend Jay Lethal.
I'm really surprised Lethal is down with that, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. I told Lethal, I said, I saw Lethal last night because as we're recording this,
It's
Ring
Sunday
of
morning.
Honors
Yeah.
was, Death Before Dishonor was last night. I talked to, as a matter of fact, I rode back from the arena to the hotel with Jay, and I told him, I said, don't trust that mother. Don't trust him. And he just kind of smiled as if he knew not to trust him or thought I was full of shit. I don't know what his response was with that smile. Maybe I read too much into it. I don't know.
He's a nice guy, and he got caught up in some bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit that Flair fucking perpetrated.
100%. Listen,
Yeah.
It's not new for me and you. We've both known Rick long enough now to know that occasionally he creates his own drama.
Ooh, occasionally?
That's certainly what happened with Jay.
But
This Jeff thing, man, that ain't on Rick this time.
Yeah.
Not to me. I mean, I know that Jeff has his opinion, and he put out.
Oh,
Look at Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso.
Blow that whistle.
And the guy in the blue shirt opening the cage door right there.
Klondike Bill.
No, that's not. That's George 2-Ton Harris.
Oh.
There he is.
Thought you were gonna, because he used to. Didn't Klondike build this cage?
Yes, Klondike built it. George was with him. George really couldn't do shit. He was a lazy human being. So they said, George, just run the cage door and let us build it.
A lazy human being.
He was lazy, terribly lazy. Yeah.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
He used to, George Harris and 2-Ton Harris and Klondike Bill were the two guys that worked at the ballpark, Crockett Park.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-Ton Harris was a wrestler as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer with us. And he invented ways to get out of work.
Really?
Oh, yes. Always something wrong. Blood pressure's up. Can't do that today. One time he fell off the garbage truck.
Fell off
it. He had his head on the concrete.
So if somebody falls off and hurts their head, they're lazy. Just want to make sure I got that.
I think what happened was, and I think we all that worked at Crockett Park back then knew that George didn't really fall. He jumped off the truck and pretended he had fallen.
That way he didn't have to work.
Yeah, because he was laying on the concrete. I've told the story. He's laying on the concrete and he can't talk, and he's laying there. He's going, and Klondike came around, put his hands on his knees, bent over, looked at George. He went, George, you okay? And George going, he said, George, are you okay? He said, George said, the only thing it was do. And Klondike said, okay, George, I got to go take a shit. If you're still here, when I get back, I'll try to help you up. That was Klondike calling him on it, being lazy. So that was the dynamic between Bill and George. And Bill was such a great worker, had a great, you talked about your work ethic. Klondike Bill had a wonderful work ethic.
I wasn't jacking off my work ethic.
No.
But I mean, I know I got one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What's this thing that's on Flair's face here?
It's probably blood.
Well, no, it's like Ellering had it looked like maybe one of the Road Warriors wrist wraps. With
Yeah, they used that in the first one too.
Yeah, here it is. See, it's in the left hand. So, but anyway, Klondike had a great work ethic. George did not, and Klondike resented him for it. And it was really comical, the play between those two, because George didn't want to do any work. Wow.
Tony, this is Jim Crockett Promotions at its finest, what we're watching right now. Can you believe that it's coming back one last time this weekend?
Yeah, this I've shown this before, and this patch means a lot to me. We talk about fans, and And I appreciate fans saying what they say about, hey, you're the voice of my childhood. And I get that. It's because this brings them back and nostalgia is big, but this patch brings me back, you know?
Shout out to Dick Bourne, friend of the show. I think he sent that to you.
Yeah, he did.
Hall of Famer, Dick Bourne.
Yeah. Just great
I
memory.
got some shit. Dick Bourne went in the Hall of Fame before you did.
I don't give a shit about a fucking Hall of Fame.
Wow. Okay. Well,
End of story.
Wait till shit on his accomplishments.
No, I'm not shitting on his accomplishments. I'm saying Tony Schiavone does not give a shit about a Hall of Fame.
You know, Tony, as we're getting ready to wrap down, there it is. There's your win.
You heard the announcement.
Someone must have submitted. Who was it? Who was it? Where was it? We got to tell every fan, you know, just, and the fans are standing there like, what the fuck?
Red Warriors win the return of the War Games.
That's it.
Here comes the credits. By the way, we will have credits at the end of this show this weekend.
Wayne Daniel.
Tommy Edwards.
Right.
Emerson Lawson.
Rest in peace. William Seibert, know him. Glenn McKinney, didn't know Glenn. Ron Kirk, TBS guy.
Barbara Daniel.
That's Wayne's wife.
Skeeter Brawley.
He's dead. Just recently passed away.
I love they build where she's from. Oh, that's company. I got you. So there it is. The Wrestling Network, TWN. Steve Chamberlain getting a shout out.
There you go. Of course.
Herman Outlaw.
Herman. I'm enjoying these credits. And that was it.
Well, you're going to see some credits this weekend. And I want to give some credits right now, Tony, because, you know, you and I, this whole Jim Crockett promotion show and Ric Flair having one last match, you know, it's sort of low key your fault. Do you know this?
Boy.
All
right, I'll take the blame. Go ahead. Why?
You introduced me to David Crockett. And together last year, week by week, episodically, we watched Jim Crockett promotions through 1986. And it was really like a real highlight for me to go back and watch all that stuff because I didn't see it the first time. You know, I turned 5 yet that year. I wasn't even a wrestling fan yet. So I had seen clips, but I hadn't seen it in its full context.
Right.
And then I got to hang out with David, and boy, he sure does miss professional wrestling. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
And then, you know, we started this ad-free shows thing, put some stuff behind the paywall and created a little community right before the pandemic started. And we aimed to do something called Conversations with Conrad. And our very first one was with Jim Herd. And of course, guess what we wound up talking a lot about? Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And then the next one, we wound up spending a lot of time talking with Jim Crockett Jr. It wound up being his very last interview and public appearance. We even got him to come to Starrcast. And anyway, we did one more conversation with Conrad, and it was with Jerry Jarrett, Jeff's dad. And it wasn't until I thought about all of that this week that it sort of dawned on me that in a weird way, Starrcast 5, the roast of Ric Flair, one last ride for the Horsemen, and more importantly, Ric Flair's last match under the banner of Jim Crockett Promotions, really and truly is fate for this podcast. This is the culmination. This is where it all came to a head. But I didn't know we would be doing this when I helped you come to the decision of let's cover JCP in 1986. We didn't even, this wasn't on our radar.
No.
And it never crossed our mind when we did the Jim Herd interview or the Jim Crockett Jr. interview or even the Jerry Jarrett interview. But all of that led to this. And if you've enjoyed what we've done on this program and you're a fan of the old school or a fan of the modern day, we've got so many first time ever and dream matches and legacy matches. And man, I'll be honest, the big surprise we have to start the show, and I think you know what it is, and I don't want to give a spoiler here. And then, and then coming to you and David on the old set.
Yeah.
That just gets me going, man. It gets me in the feels. And I don't know that it would have happened if it wasn't for this show.
Well, there you go. Groundbreaking is what we are.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think in that vein, I think that we ought to take some time I don't think 1985. I don't think the entire year. I mean, we started in April. I don't think it's all on the Peacock.
No,
But I'd like to go back and watch some of 85
I would love to.
because that's the magical year for me. Because that was my first year on TBS.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so I think we ought to put that in the list. Go back and watch some of those episodes.
I hope you guys will make plans to join us in Nashville. You're going to want to say that you were there for this card. You know, it's going to feel like All In 2, or as I like to call it, Y'all In. Stole that from Jim Valley. Probably be the name of me and Cody's podcast one day. But this is going to be pretty special. Tickets are on sale now. RicFlairsLastMatch.com. They're just $39. You can watch the pay-per-view live anywhere in the world for just $34.95. You can watch it on Fight live and on demand. You can get it on your satellite dish. You can get it on your cable systems. And all these panels, including Tony's discussion with the Horsemen for the first time, for the last time, is all included in Starrcast 5. And when you purchase Starrcast 5, you get 1, 2, 3, and 4 all included. A lot of bang for your buck over at RicFlairsLastMatch.com. And when Tony brings us home here, we're going to roll the audio and video. So if you haven't seen the video yet, you can go to RicFlairsLastMatch.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, stay tuned. We'll have episode 2 and 3 of Ric Flair's docuseries at the end of this. But Tony, it's fun, but it's time. It's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to end this episode of What Happened When, the groundbreaking podcast that was the founding father of Starrcast 5, coming up in Nashville. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, these people will be there. Dave Silva, Jeff Jarrett, Jay-Z Flair, Dave Green, Scott of Travel, Evan Polisher, and a gaggle of geese. We're desperately out of time. See you next week on What Happened When, the groundbreaking podcast. We come to you every Wednesday on Cumulus, but on Mondays we come to you only on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. We'll see you guys this weekend. Stay tuned for episode 2 and 3 of The Last Match.
On hood. Ric Flair is lacing him up one more time at 73.
I see that Ric Flair is actually coming out of retirement for one last match. I bet you that raised a few eyebrows.
When it comes to being in that ring, that might be where he's most comfortable. Rick knows if he's healthy enough, and if it's something that brings him joy, brings him contentment, I wish him the best.
He can't stand it. He's got to get back on that horse.
I didn't even know that he would live. I never thought he would be back in the ring again.
And I don't think he's thought this through.
I mean, the fans are concerned about Rick's health. His struggles have been front page, right? They're no secret. I mean, let's just be honest.
I guess good for him. But do you think it's really his last match?
What Ric Flair is doing, he's doing that because he loves this business.
July 31st, Nashville, Tennessee. As promised, Ric Flair will walk that aisle one more time. Guaranteed this time to be the last time.
Why is he doing this match?
I think I know why he's doing it, but I'm not going to tell you that. But I think I know why he's doing that. But that's just a guess, and I could be wrong. But I'm sorry.
It's not money.
It isn't money?
No, it's not money.
Then I'm wrong.
Some people say you should never meet your heroes. But I guess those people's heroes weren't Ric Flair.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. What's this? What's going on here, huh?
What's up? Filming a documentary.
They think this guy's got some talent.
So growing up, watching wrestling, if I had to credit me wanting to be a wrestler to one particular person, for me, it's without a doubt the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I kind of made a living off of pretending to be Ric Flair.
To be the man you've got. To be the man you've got to beat the man.
I have tried my hardest to describe what it was like and what the feeling was of getting to work with my idol 10 years ago, and it can't be done. I've tried, and as much as I try, I feel like I never quite do it justice.
Do you know where you are right now?
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm asking you, do you know where you are right now?
Oh, yeah.
In the world you want to survive in and be something in, you're standing in front of God right now.
I mean, I was excited, nervous. At some points, I felt like throwing up from excitement. I remember at one point when we were face to face in the ring, literally my hands went numb.
Whoa, hold on. Rick, I gotta say, from the bottom of my heart, I'm gonna get this footage and I'm gonna frame it and I'm gonna hang this on my wall, because right now, this is the greatest moment of my life.
And it was like a dream come true. And part of me was thinking, I hope my family is watching this. I hope the kids and my friends that I sat at the lunch table with in middle school and high school, I hope they were watching that. That's all I could think about, and how excited I was, and I felt like, man, I am being put on the wrestling map because of Ric Flair.
And in Elizabeth, New Jersey, there is a beautiful woman watching the television screen, to coin a phrase, with a tear in her eye, because she knows that her little boy has made it, because he's standing in the ring with the man. He's standing in the ring with the legend. He's standing in the ring with the Ric Flair.
As we stand here today, I am helping that same person that I idolize get ready for what is to be his last and final hurrah in wrestling, his last match. And the fact that he has come to me, like I can't even keep my hands still. The fact that he has come to me to help him get ready. There's no words in the dictionary to explain or describe how frickin' cool this is for me.
Is that right? Yeah. Little girls, look at the slam off the top. Yeah, brother. Today.
Hey, I thought they had you pushing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that on hard, but I did it again today. Yeah.
Don't show Rick though. These are my workout socks.
A good guy that I trust. When you walk away from it for that long, and then be my age, I had to be really comfortable with someone that I trusted.
Yeah.
My watch goes off. Every time he hits the ground, his watch goes, "Hey, did you fall?" He's got to clear the alert. One of the toughest parts about this whole experience is in the back of your mind, or my mind anyway. I know how old Ric Flair is, and he's still going. It's an accomplishment and an honor, but also to be putting your body through this, have a little reservation about whether or not this is the safest thing to be doing, because this is, as they say, a young man's sport, and the danger is there. But we kind of all just try and tuck that away, because to get to do this, it's literally worth it.
To this day, I just turned 63 years old, and I have never done anything that equals the adrenaline, the rush, standing in the center of a ring with 10, 20,000 people around you, screaming so loud it's like a white noise. You can't even hear yourself think. It's it's something that nothing else can really duplicate.
Yes, there are skeptics that Ric Flair shouldn't do this, but again, we do not have the right to tell him what to do.
Well, maybe it's something that he needs. Maybe this is his finalization.
I mean, and you only live one time. It's your life, you get one of them. And look at all the Flair's been struck by lightning, He's been in car crashes, plane crashes. I mean, what else? I mean, there's nothing that can stop this man. So, like, if you're him, why not? Why not?
Oh, I'm very happy for him. I think this is great. Go out in the ball of fire.
Jim Crockett Promotions did not go out the way it should have. That you and I both know that we fought it tooth and nail with everything that you've gone through. You know, personally, you want to finally do it your way.
And not for the money, because I don't need it.
Yeah.
For once, I don't need it. It's for fun.
So many things in our lives that
we're
wrong.
Yeah.
That I spent so much time looking back.
Yeah, you can't.
I forgot to look forward.
Yeah, you can't. Me too. Yeah. Especially when I was sick.
Yeah. Oh, when you were sick, I was. Saw you in there all. You look like a space creature. You had all these tubes and everything coming out of you.
It's a miracle.
I thought I lost you.
I woke up and had no memory of where I was for 6 months. I knew where I was going forward. I could remember nothing about it.
Thank God for your doctor.
Yeah.
That he didn't give up.
He didn't.
Really, because when I got the call, it's shutting down everything, and David, you need to come down. Because there might not be a tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
You know, anybody that hasn't walked a mile in his shoes, seen what he's seen, can't judge that man. I'm just so glad to see that he has overcome so many things and he's getting a chance to have that last match. All the naysayers and the things people would like to say about people trying to do something past their prime, this is really a celebration.
This gym is Hard Knock South. I've worked with professional athletes of all types, and only those who really want to put the effort in keep coming back, because hard work is part of the ethos of this place. And Rick certainly has that.
I've seen clips online, I've seen him training, I've seen him on the row machine. And I asked my dad, and I'm like, how does he do it? And he's like, Brock, he was just always a cardiovascular machine.
There is a spirit in fighters that never truly dies. A hunger that never eases. A need to compete.
A little while ago, I had some genetic tests performed on Rick. He scored higher than some professional athletes I've worked with. And it became evident pretty quickly once he started training here how he got in shape really fast, and he just keeps pushing it. Stuff that would leave me floored, he comes back for more.
Me preparing for this match has been just, trying to get back where I was 35 years ago. It's hard to do. I'll be close. I just have to work on quickness and stuff like that. My endurance is good, but just have to keep working on it every day.
You might have broken bones, but you got strong. You might have broken bones, but you got strong. 'Cause I need to win back on my feet, with strong footing to get my punches on me. I need to win one, get me back on my feet, with strong footing to get my punches on me. I need to win one, get me back on my feet. Strong footing, get my punches on him.
You don't get it. I'm gonna crossbody somebody off the top rope. You ain't seen nothing yet.
And I got to tell you, we had a plan today to we promoted it and all that jazz. We were going to have Jay Lethal on, maybe show some of those old clips, the woo offs and all the stuff from Impact, but no Jay today. What's up with that?
Well, is he gonna hear this if I say it? I don't care. He's got an attitude. He wants to be part of the show, and I said that ain't gonna happen. You know how that happens, and all of a sudden everybody's feelings are hurt. So I think he's upset with me. I told him the other day that he wanted to be on the card, and I said, you know, it's no fault of his, but he's not seen in that light.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Hey, so real quick. Yeah. So July 31st, monumental event. Is there any room?
Yeah.
You got.
I have a lot of respect for you. You know that. And we've been friends above and beyond. But you're an open match guy. In real life. I mean, I'm talking to you straight up. We're loading this up with guys that have got a resume. Okay.
All right. Okay.
But I do like to be honest with you, right?
Yeah, no.
I like when you tell me I'm fucking around, fucking off.
No, I got it. I'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, man. All right.
Thank you. Love you too, man.
Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee and the Nashville Fairgrounds. This is an exciting day for our city and for everyone who loves sports entertainment and everyone who loves the great Ric Flair. WWE Hall of Famer, third generation wrestling promoter. Please welcome Jeff Jarrett.
In my opinion, is Jeff Jarrett a horseman?
Everybody can't be a horseman. That's a fact.
Jeff was over horseman. For sure, he could have never kept the pace. I said it, Jeff.
And of course, the man of the hour, the 16-time world heavyweight champion. Please welcome the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. The event culminates on July the 31st with Ric Flair's last match. The event has grown so big, so many people want to be a part of it, that it's being moved to Municipal Auditorium in Nashville.
Ric Flair. Mayor Cooper has dedicated July 31st to be the Ric Flair Day here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Everybody out there, thank you for believing in me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. I promise you that on the 31st, I won't be Ric Flair of 89, but I'll be better than Ric Flair of 99. How about that? Woo. No, not 99. Whoa. Yeah, 2009. Had to think it was like, well, maybe 99. But anyway, depends how much practice I can get out of Lethal. He's pissed off at me right now. But anyway, I'm honored. Thank you for coming out today, and never be able to say how much this means to me personally. It seems like I've had more greater moments and more greater opportunities than any man alive.
I'm here today in a lot of ways representing Conrad, but talking about Starrcast. I've got another role in my life right now, but I'm truly tickled to death to be a part of the 3-day celebration.
Here's 2 tickets for Jeff and his dad, front row.
Oh, Mike, nothing's going to happen.
Okay. I was just moving back.
I get it. He was going to play a rib on him. He doesn't carry tickets around. He's going to play a rib on me. I guarantee you. I get it.
No, I'm not. What can I say?
So do we want to keep going?
No.
We're going to end it.
No.
We're going to end it. All right. Looking forward to Starrcast.
Hey, there he is. Hey. Whoa. Great press conference. Hey, you even had the mayor's office out here, and I couldn't even get an invite. I had to fly myself out here. You're really gonna make me? Hey, what? No. Shut up. On a serious note, I can't tell you how badly I feel used. You used me. All this time you used me. I just wanted a little bit, a little nugget.
I couldn't even get on the show. That's disrespectful, and you know it. Could you put yourself in my shoes? Don't turn around.
Don't touch me again.
You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
I talk to little guys like you.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. You know what?
Yeah.
About time this happens.
Oh, God, that's my surgery.
Hey, come on.
Hey, with all due respect, Crockett, this has nothing to do with you. He's had this.
No. Hey, yeah. Somebody, come on.
Hey, get the hell off me.
Get
your hands off me.
Wait.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
Are you kidding me?
Jay.
I'll help him out. I'll help him out. You used me.
Jay, stop it.
All right. You know what? Jay,
stop it.
I got hot. That's my fault.
Oh,
my fault. I'll help you get him up.
Jay, just
the
stop.
man is my idol, okay? I'll
Jay,
help you get him
I'm telling you, quit. That's enough.
I can't believe you're defending that.
Oh, boy.
I can't believe you're defending him. After all he's done.
Jay, he's 70-something years old.
He don't act like it. He does not act like it.
Get away from me.
Yeah, you see?
Rick, just calm down.
You see?
I said f off, Jared. Tired of you and your old man. Rick, stop. Dave.
Hey. Wait a minute. Come on. Jay, stop.
God, Rick, get up, please.
He deserves this. Every second of it. Every second of it.
Jay, you have a right to be upset, but stop.
Help him up, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm good. You're home. I don't need nothing from you. Don't. Rick, like you, and I respect you, but in real life, you've been an arrogant Rick.
Oh! Come on! Yeah! Give me your shoe! Yeah. Give me your shoe! Yeah. Give me your shoe! Wait a minute! Yeah!
Yeah, you see?
Oh, God, that's a hard way, guys. It's a hard way. That's a
You're damn right it is!
damn right it is. It's a hard way, guys. Stop. That's serious. It's
Hey, you my husband?
Want it? Come on! Yeah! Shut up, Crockett! Stop it! My old man never liked your to begin with. Stop! Shut! Stop it! Damn it!
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
I loved you, okay? I loved you, you son of a I loved you!
How's Ric Flair Day look now? How's the fairgrounds? The house that Jared built? Yeah, you want to joke around about the Four Horsemen? Does this look like a Four Horseman right here? Yeah, this son of a thought I hung the moon. He thought I hung the moon.
Don't meet your idols.
When he come begging,
Don't meet
he
your
came
idols.
begging for a job. How's he look now? How's he look now? You know, Rick, you didn't want me a part of your last match? Me and Jay Lethal, it looks like we'll see you on July 31st. No, Jay.
Growing up as a kid, I idolized Ric Flair.
This is about as real as it gets. And Lethal and Jared will be ready. This is fucking family. This is real. And he's a bad mother. And he's my son-in-law.
Please have a seat.
It's going to be the saddest day of my life, beating the my idol.
This is why I'm here.
He's here because he married your daughter. That doesn't make him a badass.
Oh, this is why.
Yeah, let's show you. The only
I guess you're pretty proud of yourself, huh, Jeff?
You said we're doing a podcast. We're going to do a podcast.
Not because I fucking want to do a podcast, but because I'm contractually obligated. Why is this funny?
We're going to do this podcast, Conrad, and I can assure you, I'm going to say some things today that you don't want to hear about your father-in-law, because everybody glosses over the real Ric Flair. Everybody glosses over the nature boy. If you want to go right for the jugular, let's go.
You're a fucking egomaniac who wants to make everything about you. You made sure you inserted yourself in the press conference of Ric Flair. Why the shit were you even there?
Okay, Jeff, you think you know anybody at the mayor's office? Voila, Ric Flair Day.
The mayor's office declared July 31st Ric Flair Day in the Music City.
Hey, can you get a proclamation done? Yeah, mayor's office. Again, happy to. Hey, I don't feel good today. Jeff, can you sit up on the podium and do your job and mine?
And it was supposed to be a day really to celebrate Rick.
Wings! Legendary flavors! World Championship wings! Woo! Woo wings! Yeah! Woo woo!
The one thing about that press conference that was so typical of Rick, he knew that Conrad didn't do it. But yet, I never got so much as, hey Jeff, thanks for your help. Because of his ego, candidly, because he legitimately thinks the world revolves around him.
He doesn't realize how sick he is. He has zero clue how sick he is.
His ego, it's truly at the core of his disease.
He slighted me at the press conference, and backstage, you heard him. He couldn't wait to get on stage to do that.
Here's 2 tickets for Jeff and his dad, front row.
Yeah, drawing money in Nashville. Here's 2 tickets for you and your old man. I'll teach you guys how to draw money. Are you kidding me, Conrad? This feel-good BS, Crockett, we're going to end right, Rick, and he got exactly what he deserved in that parking lot.
In the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, the amount of questions that I've been asked about just how did all this go down? But when Jay Lethal diplomatically asked Rick, is there a place on the card for me? And Rick said, you're an open match guy.
That's disrespectful, and you know it. Could you put yourself in my...
Tell the guy that to his face. You do if you're an egomaniac like Flair.
I just couldn't really believe that Jay, in a lot of ways, took matters into his own hands. And David Crockett yelling like a little girl. It caught me so off guard.
Yeah! Somebody, come on! Hey, get the hell off me! Hey, get your hands off me! Are you kidding me?
Karen, you could tell she was nervous. It just didn't have to happen that way.
Jay, stop! He deserves this! He deserves this! Every second of it!
I knew how he disrespected Lethal. Hell, I knew how he disrespected me for the last 30 years.
But when Jay Lethal punched him in his intestines where his surgeries have been, you would think that he could drop his ego for just a minute and let me help him up.
See? I said f*** off, Jared. Tired of you and your old man.
When I got down and was face to face with Rick, he was helpless. And I said, Rick, please let me help you up. And what did he do? He told me to f*** off. I'll just say that I knew that I had to do what I had to do.
You literally stabbed my father-in-law in the head with a high heel shoe. And listen, there's magic in wrestling. No magic, son. What do you do? There should have been police involvement. If Rick wasn't such an old head, you'd be behind bars. That's a crime, Jeff.
You know, Rick came up literally like a little crying bitch. It's a hard way. It's a hard way. Yeah, Rick. No
biggest mistake you can make is to leave a man with spirit and heart breathing. Because you better believe he will rise up to come again.
Even more motivated now than I was before. About as real as it fucking gets in life. To be able to wrestle with my son-in-law, who has helped me regain the confidence that I've had beat out of me. And Lethal and Jared, when you guys see this, you guys got nothing in common. You don't even know each other. This is fucking family. This is real. Feel it. And he's a bad motherfucker. And he's my son-in-law.
I don't have words. I don't have words.
Jesus. Seriously.
Well, you realize that you've crossed the line now.
Oh, and I'm glad that I did now.
You know you're double nickels. You ain't what you used to be. Andrade is going to go upside that head.
Oh, God, listen, Andrade is a dime a dozen, my friend.
Oh, really?
If he ain't a curtain jerker, I don't know who is.
Okay.
If he wasn't married to who he's married to.
I don't even want to hear that.
I had never even heard of him until he married Charlotte.
Can I tell you something? You know, one of the reasons I like Ashley marrying Manny, because he's a tough motherfucker. This is me really talking to my daughter. I said, Ashley, the guy will stand by your side. He'll protect you. He's fearless. Raised in a tough neighborhood, a tough street. He's a man.
But now, it's about family. I fight for my family. And now, I fight for the family Flair.
Andrade's a goddamn man. A man and a half. Lethal and Jeff Jarrett don't have any idea what they just been into. They have no idea.
Young man, please have a seat. Before we make this official, put pen to paper. Do you have any comments you want to make? Mr. Jarrett?
Jay, I'll let you go first.
Well, I just want to say that I'm so torn right now inside. I'm hurt only because I know what's about to happen. I know what's ahead, and it's going to be the saddest day of my life, beating the shit out of my idol, because you deserve it, okay? You really deserve it, and I'm having a hard time holding it.
This is why I'm here. Yeah, keyword being your idol.
Who, him? He's here because he married your daughter. That doesn't make him a badass.
Oh, this is why?
I'll show you.
I'll show you. What do you do? What do you do in the business?
What have I done? I beat that guy right there on pay-per-view. Yes. That's what I've done. He's the best. That makes me the man, right?
Fighting through the pain. He just
Jeff, you need to go ahead and say your comments, please.
Rick, I stood on that platform at the press conference and meant every word that came out of my mouth. It was an honor, it's a prestige to even be associated with this event.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
The whole world has to revolve around you.
You're goddamn right it does. That's why you're here today. Why are you here today?
You're damn right.
You're damn right. They get a payoff.
Guess what?
Me equals a
It
payoff.
ain't no about a damn payoff, Rick. It's about finally doing what the entire wrestling world has wanted to do for years, and that is put you out of your misery.
You know nothing about my.
You shut up!
Hey.
Shut up! Shut your mouth!
Go about my life.
Talk about people being here for a paycheck? You're what, 73 years old? That's the only damn reason you're here, because you ran out of money!
Oh no, you're wrong.
Yeah, this is about.
Let's go and finish it.
This is about an in-ring career that's going to come to an end.
Sign this.
Rick, win, lose, or draw, this is it for you. And we're going to find out just how much of the nature boy you still got in you. Yeah.
All right, how do you do it?
All right, Jeff, just sign this, please.
What are you looking at?
A piece of
A man.
I want to make it official.
A man.
Maybe one day
Man.
it'll work, not anymore.
Oh really?
Not anymore.
Really? I go get my shots every week. Can you write?
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty
You can read
funny.
and write.
He taught you how to wrestle again, didn't he?
Huh?
Yeah, that's right. I did.
Yes, we
I did. Couldn't teach him any new tricks though.
Rick, now it's your turn. Put pen to paper, make it official. Do you have any comments?
No, actually I don't. Richard Famous.
It's comical.
Is it really?
It is.
What's gonna be comical? When he and I beat either one of you, which we will, what'll be comedy then?
Do you actually think you can still go?
I do.
You really do?
Absolutely do. Absolutely do.
You think you can hang with me and Jay?
Yeah. Certainly do.
You don't think he's a crutch for you? That he's going to carry the load? And you
I-
carried the load a lot of years for a lot of guys, but do you think when it comes down and we hear ding, 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 and the match starts, you think you can carry your load?
I'll make sure my presence is known. You won't be disappointed.
I actually want to see.
But yeah, you tell me.
I actually want to see this.
You were training me. What were you saying to me then?
Shit,
Go
all right,
on,
gentlemen.
Go ahead and read the text. Go ahead and read the text right
Go ahead, read it.
You're
Read
still
it
the man,
out
Rick.
loud.
You're still the man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I said that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because you're an egomaniac.
Oh,
That's
really?
why. And I wanted to keep getting those
Thank you
checks.
very much.
I wanted to keep getting those checks.
It is official. Please leave calmly.
You should be paying me to come over there.
Yeah.
I put it on the map.
Rick,
All right,
go.
now your last match
Stop engaging.
will be the
Stop.
match that you regret the most out of your entire career.
16-time professional wrestling world champion and cultural icon Ric Flair will wrestle one last time.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say, like maybe to Rick to wish him luck for the match?
Rick, from the Russian Nightmare, Je t'aime, to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Hey, Rick, on a serious note, dude, I pray for you, for real. I want you to know that, as do many others. I wish you well in this final match.
Well, when I think of professional wrestling, I think of Ric Flair. Ric Flair is absolutely my favorite wrestler of all time. Tough, strong, smart, and puts on a great show.
Rick, good luck. We had some good years together. I love you. Take care of yourself. Piss on the rest of them.
Rick, I hope it goes well for you. I'll be pulling for you, and I hope to see you sometime in the future. But for now, so long for now.
Hey, Rick, my husband is gonna knock the shit out of you on Sunday.
Champ, I love you, brother. I wish you all the luck in the world, and I pray you don't get hurt. You are the king of wrestling. I will always call you the champ. I hope to God this is the best thing you can do and it works out well in your favor. And God bless you and your family, brother. God bless you.
Well, I guess I saw his first match, so I guess I might as well see his last match.
We thought we could do this reunion or match event in a civil way. It's gotten totally out of hand.
Rick got exactly what he deserved.
Get your hands off me!
Oh, yeah! Give me your suit! Yeah! Give me your suit! Does this look like a four horseman right here? How's he look now? How's he look now? I love you, you son of a I love you!
This is fucking family. This is real.
You, Jeff Jarrett. He's an active alcoholic. You know nothing about my
The reason you're here, because you ran out of money!
The baddest Mexican alive today.
This is about as real as it gets.
With a tear in my eye, I'm gonna kick your ass.
One man, one legend, forever.
But a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Jim Crockett Promotions presents Ric Flair's Last Match, July 31st at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. Starrcast weekend in Nashville, bringing wrestling companies together for one of the most unique cards ever assembled. Main evented by Ric Flair's Last Match. Tickets are on sale right now at RicFlairsLastMatch.com, and you can catch the show live streaming on pay-per-view and Fight TV for only $34.99. Ric Flair's Last Match. Walk in that aisle one more time for the last time.
Rick, do you have anything to say to expensive car repair?
They don't stand a chance against the money-saving roadside assistant, Car Shield, and Slick Rick. They better learn their ABCs, because we're always bringing Car Shield. Woo! Woo!
The roast to Ric Flair, you kidding me? It's the Nature Boy. What are they going to say? I am, woo, the man. Okay? You say what you want to say. Just remember at the end of the night, when all is said and done, I get to talk about you. Woo, the roast to Ric Flair. Woo, look at his old ass. Look.